Hello, everyone. We are live with Tales from the Old Haunt after the spa days. This is where Yavi finds out where we normally get up to shenanigans. And I will pass it to Yella to summarize what happened last time.
Last time, Operation Shanky Bitch was fully going. We started right after we had killed a bunch of gargoyles and some scarecrow. Then we were greeted by a what was he again? The demon guy. I've got the name.
Oh, a Cambion.
Gambian.
Cambion.
Willing to sell out his bosses in return for, well, not dying, getting their bodies. After which we got, choke point by a hellhound for a bit, who just kind of took fire breaths while Perry was stabbing him. After which we started fighting the actual hags. We started getting some decent damage in when Clue went down. Then most of the creatures just got petrified by the Medusa we took along, which worked out really well. After which, Clue got back up, and then Mara went down, and then got Mara back up, and then we won.
No, you won, and then someone got Mara up.
Oh, get it. Oh, yeah, the stab happened like. Oh, yeah, Thelvar. It was Thelvar's turn, so he stabbed, then we got her up. Yeah.
Yes.
Thelvar doesn't have healing spells. Which I
No,
think
no,
about
Delvar
it
does
is
not.
Thelvar and Perry are the only two in this party who cannot heal.
That's really sad if you come to think of it. Mara
all
can
healers,
even
all
heal.
healers are handy. I mean,
Yeah.
Luke can only heal like twice, but it's enough to get somebody back up and stab somebody.
Mara can heal. How many times can I heal now? I can heal 4 times if I if I so choose.
We still throw healing potions at people.
Mm. But yeah, after which Chloe and Mara both decided to take a nap.
Yeah.
The rest of them started investigating the general premises to see what they could find. Also, although that happens earlier, the Cambion told us to actually free the paintings. We need the blood of a celestial, which we're going to need to get somewhere at some point. Hibara gave the paintings to the not
Naiad.
Oh, it was Naiad. Huh, did actually remember it.
Yeah.
To keep it in the Feywilds while we go and get that celestial blood, and that's where we ended off.
Well, you forgot about inviting someone.
I mean, we invited Baracas a while back, but yeah. So are we picking it up? It's the spa returning back, or are we assuming we had a talk with Baracas about where we're going?
No. You guys rested, and I think like the other guests, you noticed too, were like looting a place, because getting fluffy bathrobes and little cloth sandals, house shoes to walk around in. Yeah, but y'all decided to like stay and rest up properly because people were feeling pretty wiped out. And yeah, the next morning, Glitter's there. There's a couple of the people Glitter introduces you to who are also still cursed and were still on site, but they've decided they don't feel comfortable going back to Waterdeep, so there's still enough supplies. They're going to kind of like stay there with Silvare, who's still a Medusa, and kind of wait for you to return and so that they can get their curse lifted. But they're not going to have.
Can I suggest something?
Mm-hmm.
So you know how the blind hag had a veil?
Mm-hmm.
Can Silvare have that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, assume the veil is still there because the Cambion did take all their bodies already at this point.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, I guess I would be asking for like a retcon of when everyone's there, she like takes it.
Yeah, they kind of like, when their, guises come off, their bodies change if they don't properly change, like it gets knocked off. And I'll say, yeah, that had gotten, she sort of ripped that off as you were fighting.
technically, because that Green Axe new form is entirely an illusion. So
Oh no, does it not exist?
Way to
I
go,
mean,
Clue.
the blind hack might also just have had one, and then also
I
put
think
an
it was.
illusion on top
Yeah,
of
I
it.
think. Well, I think it was a physical thing she put on because if you actually got close enough to her eyes, like they had an
Yeah,
effect.
you could actually feel the thing. So
You could see
Then-
things in them. So it was a physical thing she
so
put
yeah,
on. It
she
wasn't just an
probably
illusion.
just put it on and then did the general illusion spell.
Yeah. Yes. So
I
yeah,
just
you
asked
can
because I like
have that. You like the look.
the look of person cursed by these bitches, killing them and then stealing their shit and wearing it around the house.
Yeah,
I mean, it
that can
is the
happen.
best.
Right. Yeah. So you wake up the next day and it's you're joined by Ilman. He's ready to go back to Waterdeep as well and report to the Harpers. And Glitter isn't sure if Glitter should come with you or stay behind and wait for the curse to be lifted.
I mean, Glitter is the tiefling that
Kobold?
got turned into a kobold, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mara
Uh,
basically goes, "You're coming with me." Kind of
He's
kidnaps
gonna-
it.
you know he's gonna end up just looking like me, right?
I don't care.
Aw,
can't
that's the
keep
nicest
it.
thing you've ever said about me.
Yeah, but see, Glitter is Mara's baby now. Clue is not Mara's baby. So
I don't like the idea of anybody who's gonna end up looking like me being your baby. That makes me slightly uncomfortable, really.
too bad.
Fake Jarlaxle will also be staying behind.
Well, he better stay behind because
Yeah.
if he stays anywhere near Mara, Mara will beat his ass.
Oh yeah. If he's still there, then Kabar
Mhm.
would definitely tell him that he should stay put because it would be very bad.
Yeah, he
Now,
kind of picked up the whole rumor thing and what y'all were doing there, and the fact that he's now been cursed and he's met the other cursed people who's had their curses actually fulfilled. And yeah, he's crapping bricks. So he doesn't want to. He's not leaving to go anywhere. He's waiting
Yeah,
until
definitely
you come
don't
back.
want to go to Waterdeep when Relaxel is, actually there. Not a great idea.
Yeah.
exactly.
And also
Or-
considering what's going on politically there at the moment.
Or the fact that, oh, I don't know, our team knows Drillaxel.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Clue, if like he came back to Waterdeep and Clue's like stayed in touch, you would definitely try to introduce him to the actual Relaxel just to see what happens.
Yeah, that would definitely be a thing that happened.
So have they told you yet, or have we told you who Jarlaxle is? Because obviously his name is coming up a lot.
Oh, we're definitely going to meet him again very soon.
Yes,
So,
because there's a
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
thing that Mara has to do.
Well,
Yep.
well, I did when met fake Jarlaxle before the retcon. Thalvar did make a point of giving him the Thalvar's version of his title to give it some context for Harvey. The infamous
Yeah.
pirate king of.
That's good.
That's a nice way of saying it. Mara
Huskin,
would have just
yeah.
been like, "This is my sugar daddy."
You're 16. You shouldn't be using those words. Stop it.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
You're 16. Once again, it's kind of my job at this point.
So Jarlaxle is a very, very powerful, influential drow
Wow.
elf. He sort of escaped from the matriarchal drow society. He came from a very famous family and he kind of got away with a little bit more because his family was basically the ruling family. But he mostly dwells now up, not in the Underdark, but on the surface. And he has acquired a group of other drow males who have left society and some drow females who disagree with the totalitarian nature of their society. He is now operating out of Luskin, but he's got political interests all over Faerun, and most recently entered into a bit. The party entered into a bit of a devil's pact with Jarlaxle, but it worked out. It's an alliance. I think I call it like a suspicion between the party.
No,
it's just friendship.
it's friendship.
Yeah, you're
Mutual
friends now?
dependence.
At this point, it's definitely friendship.
Yep.
I mean, between Hibara and what was the name
Felrict.
again?
Yeah,
Gelric,
one of
yeah,
his-
definitely
yeah.
friendship. When it comes to Clue and Sloon, on the other hand, no friendship there. There's definitely a moment like if Chillax level needs Sloon gone, Clue's gonna ask for first dibs on that one.
All right. Okay, so let's get back to then the game. Yeah. Okay. If you you want to leave in the morning, find Glitter can help find some food that isn't poisoned and set everybody else up in the staff. So you can get on your winter clothing, even though it's really more like late summer here in the area of Faerun you are, and head back to town if you would like.
Probably should.
All right. Well, you got all your
Yeah.
new stuff and your things. When you walk through the doors are just unlike before when you came into the office and the doors had to be opened to get into the area where the spa was. This time the doors are just like, it looks like the office has been abandoned. Like there's nobody at the front door. When you open up the front door to leave, you can see like the closed sign has been put out on the front door. And when you walk out, it is about 10 o'clock in the morning on a very wintry day. The cold air hits your face as you start to exhale steam from your mouth. It's gotten so cold over the weekend while you were gone. And you can even see snow on the roofs of the very nice houses in this Shishi area of town. And it seems to be a normal day in Waterdeep. It's a residential street, so there's not many people on the streets, but you hear the noise from a larger street in either directions if you were to walk.
Mara is
What?
just sitting there blowing steam, going. Basically, what I do every single time it gets cold enough that I can see my breath, because it doesn't happen frequently where I live.
Okay, not what I pictured. From Christie's description, I expected Mara to be singing.
No, Mara's like actively just like trying to blow smoke, like mystery, like with her breath, going and feeling miserably because she can't do it.
Come on, guys. It's winter, so let's head on back and get out of the cold.
Aren't you like already warm? Like, why are you complaining?
I know
Why
I'm
would I
warm.
already be warm?
Well,
Uh,
are you cold-blooded? I mean, I never
mean,
asked.
I
Are you a
have-
lizard? And
I
she
have
does the
normal
tongue thing.
human temperatures. Like I'm slightly flame retardant, and that's where it ends. I have no specific resistance to cold.
Okay, so you just feel the cold. So the cold does bother you anyway.
Can we just
I
get
mean,
back?
yes,
get
it
some
bothers me
coffee?
the exactly normal amount.
I heard that. I got your reference.
Thank you, Christine.
I mean, I also got
Oh,
it with
never
Blue,
bothered me anyway.
Javi, just a warning. Mara, because of who she is, will actively burst into either songs or make references to our plane of existence. And you all have to pretend like she's a crazy person.
Yeah,
I
Ryder
mean,
more
you
so
say
than Mara.
pretend.
You know. So you could giggle, but Mara will definitely break into like random songs, like the fact that Clue's over here complaining, Mara's like now singing. The cold never bothered me anyway.
Well, ignoring that, let's head back, guys.
So
Oh,
how are you
stop.
getting back to the tavern?
What the hell?
Good question. We do not have a coach ready. It's a decent walk. It's fucking cold. I assume we're hailing a carriage somewhere. Which, I mean, if we go to a bigger street, we can
Exactly.
probably
Yep.
find a couple.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be some around the gates. Taxis.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So you pick
Especially
a
in the rich
direction.
part of town.
Mhm.
Shouldn't be hard to find something.
You pick a direction and follow the sound of basically traffic, horse hooves, wheels, conversation, bustling. And eventually you do make your way over to a wider street, and there is near the curb a carriage. There's a special name for them in Waterdeep that I forget. I'll have to look that up. But it looks like it's being run by an elderly dwarven woman. Her chin has a gray beard braided down the front of it. And she's like, ride in a cider, only place you'll get it right here, ride in a cider. Step right up.
I mean, I'm here for a ride, but I can go for cider.
Like, oh yes, come on up. I'm Apple, and I've got the best carriage in town. And today, in celebration of the snow, I don't only have the ride, but I'll throw in a little bit of mulled cider as well. Does that sound good?
Ooh, definitely.
All right, excellent. So, where are you going? She kind of, while she's talking to you, she's pulling out some cups that look a little bit dingy, but she does something that looks like prestidigitation, and suddenly they all look clean and nice. She gets out a little like crock pot kind of sort of thing of heated stuff and opens it up. It's under her seat. Seems to be some sort of magic runes on it, keeping the inside of it warm. And she puts in, 6, I think you are now, mugs. Mugs are only about 2/3 of the way full, not all the way to the top. And kind of hands them out. And the heat goes right through the pewter. So they not only are like steaming hot and smell like really delicious mulled cider, but the whole mug itself can warm your hands.
So, clarifying question for the non-Americans. By cider, are you talking
Non-alcoholic apple juice with stuff in it.
Oh,
Wait, what?
Not
no apple
she can't
juice.
serve alcohol. She needs a tavern license for that, and that's run by the Taverns Guild, and she doesn't
Then
have.
you
a
might as well
permit
just
for it.
call it apple juice. Why call it
Yeah.
cider?
He's got cloves in there. There's orange bits of it in as well. There's probably some cinnamon at the base, a whole
it's-
stick of cinnamon.
So it's chewy too.
No,
You can
Well,
add
that
cinnamon
is
in a
how
drink.
ciders like that work. They do have a body.
They really do.
They're not sticky though. They're drinkable.
She
They're
said
not
chewy,
yes, but it's
not
like-
Oh,
sticky.
chewy.
I-
But
yeah.
what are you gonna chew? The cinnamon?
The
The apple pulp.
apple pulp.
You
Usually.
don't chew the pulp. Jesus.
No, we just let the orange float. We just let the orange float. The orange slice float in the thing. Get the flavor.
Javi, welcome to how
Heathens.
we break Christy.
Yes.
By drinking cider wrong, apparently.
So
Also,
anyway,
these
and
things can become very complicated, I guess.
Oh,
No, it's the difference between American and European standards of things.
well,
And-
they also yeah,
I mean, in Europe,
cider.
cider just means alcoholic. So-
alcoholic
mean-
apple
yeah,
juice.
Europeans, well, non-American cider is hard cider,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
we have
as Americans
cider.
would know it.
Well, that's why we call it hard cider, because regular cider is chewy.
So,
Okay.
It's
No,
kind
it's
of like
like
it's like orange
Europeans
juice.
called it cider, as in alcoholic apple juice. And for some reason, when it went to America, it also started to mean just non-clarified apple juice,
Mhm.
which
Mhm.
is just called non-clarified or apple juice in Europe. And then they started calling hard cider because it didn't have a way to differentiate it from the non-clarified apple juice.
Correct.
Javi,
Thank
are you
you.
sure you want to come back every Sunday?
Thank you,
Let's-
Clip.
It's fine, you know. In the north of Spain, there's a region called Asturias where they make like probably the best cider ever, and it's basically non-clarified apple juice that gets slightly bubbly and naturally fermented. So
Yeah, that's
Sounds
cider.
delicious. Sounds delicious. Yeah.
yeah, and people travel all the way there just to get good cider and cabrales cheese, which is kind of like a blue cheese but it's green.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
a thing.
We have a
Green
thing. We have a thing similar to that here in San Diego. It's called Julian, where you go to get apples and pie and cider, and sometimes gold.
Although I think technically cider doesn't even need to be apple. Like generally, when people say cider, they mean apple cider. But technically, it can be any fruit, and technically, wine is a cider. But that's
Welcome
of
to the
those weird
D&D
things.
session on brewing and fermenting apple cider. That's what we're going to do
Yes.
for the entire session. Is we're just going to role play that y'all have decided to open an apple cider and you're having like product discussions.
Also,
oh, I'll
technically,
gladly
if she
have an
leaves
entire
it out
subquest
there,
of making alcohol.
it's
Hey,
gonna inevitably
Waiting for
ferment.
one of our characters to go
Yeah.
screaming like, "Barkeep, do you call this cider?"
Knowing our characters, this could be an in-character conversation.
Yes,
Mhm.
very
Yeah,
much so.
definitely. Although admittedly, Clue is from Waterdeep, so he would have the same nomenclature as the local woman, unless she's from somewhere else.
Well, there might be, yes. Okay, so let's say this actually, in some weird way, happens in the carriage. She opens up her. It's not a very exclusive or she carriage, but she keeps, obviously she takes a lot of pride in it, keeping it well maintained. There isn't any heating unit inside, so it'll be cold, hence the warm ciders for your hands. But there are very comfortable blankets to sit on the benches that face each other in the carriage. And so you have a long conversation about ciders and cheeses and various products of different parts of Faerun and what they're called. As you are taken over Have on the map, I think you can see maybe in the North Ward near the top of the map, I've drawn a purple rectangle. And that is where you are headed. You were in the Sea Ward, weren't you? Yes.
Yep.
Into the North Ward, and you're heading over to Troll Skull Alley. As the carriage pulls in, Javi, you can see a bent nail as a symbol outside of a business. You think it probably has something to do with smithing, making tools or metalworks. You see a bookshop on the street. You see a private detective's office on the street. And then on one of the corners, you see this very large 3-story building that the carriage pulls up in front of. And you have all arrived back at Ye Old Haunt. You can also see that with the snow, there's been some sort of like a thing set up, you assume by Jarvis, the major domo. It's kind of a temporary setup where there are long velvet blood red curtains that form a sort of like a wall, a little cabinet, and it's stood in front of where the front door is. So the idea is there's about like a space of 2 people that you could fit inside this little area before you go into the tavern to stop the drafts from really blowing in. And let me take you to, where is, okay, I can show you quickly Troll Skull Alley so you can kind of get a sense of the location, and then I'll take you over to the tavern itself. So you can see someone's written home on the map, Javi. So this is the street where the tavern is, and you've got some neighbors behind and the front of you as well. But you've got this area where you can pull in with the carriage and drop off near the back, and got a little alleyway down there to the south entrance. You're coming through the north entrance and getting dropped off like right about at the front of the building. So I think this is
So
the
are we getting dropped off at the front of the building, which is down the side, or are we?
Well,
getting
where do you
dropped
want?
off at the north of the building.
Where do you want to be dropped off?
I
I
mean,
assumed at
Well,
oh
I
wait,
suppose the question there is, are we going into the tavern or are we going upstairs?
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume we go in through the front because we probably want to introduce our new friend to the actual staff, who's probably
We
downstairs.
want to remove some of these
Mhm.
tokens.
yes, some of these people are currently on assignment elsewhere. So I will move some of these, and you can move your own where they are.
that one can
Those
go
are the
as well.
Bobs, Madam Cookery. Yeah. Oh, I have to get one person. There you go. Do. Oranax is there. Oops, sorry, wrong.
Oh,
Please
That's
do
the
not
wrong
pay
one.
attention to the gold dragon.
did we upset
He's just a big dwarf. Do not worry about the big dwarf. Nothing to see here.
What happened while we were all away?
He's eating us out of house and home, basically, is what is happening. What
Actually,
the
he
heck?
was gonna sit. He was gonna be at the end of the bar with Sippy. who
Who's the
also
blank
needs to-
person?
The blank person? I don't see a blank person.
That's
Can you-
one
I see a blank
under
person next to
Mara.
Mara.
Oh, what does it say? It says
Nothing.
Crichton. Oh, it's
Oh.
Crichton.
Why is Crichton
Oh.
there?
Well, Crichton there's a whole bunch of people who were there and then went on a mission. So
Yeah, Soliolo's over there as well, so I need them.
Oof.
Kermit.
Is that a
I
warm
don't
rod?
know
Oh,
why
it is.
Crichton went blank though.
yeah, I just need to
Crichton-
update the sheet.
Yeah, Crichton never had a photo.
Mm.
Man of many mysteries and no face.
Oh yeah.
Not
Renee's
many
there either.
mysteries. He has no mysteries. He is a man of none. But anyway,
I mean, do we canonically know that he's related to Mara at this point?
no one knows other than Mara that he is related to Mara.
Did Habara know that? I don't remember if she
I don't
found
think
out.
Barbara knows.
I mean, it doesn't matter if she would, if she did, but because it's Habara,
I genuinely don't think she did.
I just don't remember.
Why
I
is
don't
this
either.
coming up now?
Okay.
Okay, that's where the little curtain thing is that's blocking off the wind for inside. Yeah. Are you all gonna head in? Are you gonna say anything to Javi? Like where you're going?
Well, Habara's gonna get as soon as she gets out of the cabin.
The carriage?
Carriage, that's the word.
Yeah.
As soon as she gets out of the carriage, she's going around the building.
Okay. You heading up to the back?
Of course. Habara just wandering off on her own again.
Hi, Habara.
Hope we don't have to fight 3 more hags while you're gone.
I gotta talk to Daryl. She shouts as she goes upstairs.
Who the fuck is Daryl?
Yeah. Which who's
Daryl's the
again?
plant.
Oh, I was like, is Daryl? It's not either of the Kanashi. I don't think it was the elf with the flower shop. So
You're called out.
It's marked on the map. Daryl, the living
The plant that's taken over the
creeper
tower.
vine or whatever it is.
Blood vines that now
Blood
cover
vine,
the
yeah.
building.
Yeah.
oh, by the way, Baraka's roof is filled with the blood vines, so don't go up that. Not worth it.
Carriages in
only
Waterdeep
really-
are called drays, by the way.
Great.
Drays. Yes. Just took a dray home. So, sorry. I need to get that out of my head before I forgot it again.
Yep.
What are Constitution saving throws normally set to?
Depends on what
your
you
Constitution
make them
mod
for.
and
yeah. If you're
you're
proficient or not.
No,
could be in your-
I've tried. The spell
Should
thing is
soon be.
broken. I'm trying to set up Thunderclap and all of my new spell
Oh
slots.
yeah, it should just be 8 plus mod plus
Your proficiency.
charisma, which I mean, assuming
Yeah.
she's going for bard spell list and then it's charisma. What you can do, but the thing is, it doesn't always save. Is if you go into the
Spells tab,
you can select charisma as your saving modifier and
spellcasting ability.
All right.
mhm, you
Yeah.
can do on
Change
that.
it from what if it's wisdom to charisma, for instance.
Yeah, but it
Well,
doesn't
as you-
save, unfortunately, if you're not the main podcast, which is really annoying.
Did it fix itself?
Okay.
Looks
Well,
like
let's
Yes, it
focus on-
did. Okay, awesome.
Okay. All right. Javi. All right. So you see Hibara, walk around to the back of the building. We'll come back to that in a second. What
Talks
do the
about
rest of you
Daryl.
do? Yeah, talking about Daryl. And Mara's like, who the fuck is Daryl? She's just gone.
Let's just go in the front to
Sweet
get
home.
coffee.
Yeah, let's just go in and introduce Barakas to everybody so we have that over with.
Indeed.
Mara, like the second Mara walks in, honey, I'm home.
Yes. So, Javi, you are met with quite the sight as you go through this blood red velvet curtain where it stills the wind around you. You walk into this tavern, and as you look around, the impression you get is gothic. Everything here, even though the tables are wood, imagine them being like more like black. The themes here are definitely like black, gray, white. The curtains inside that hang over the windows match the blood red velvet curtains on the outside. And as you kind of walk in behind the bar, you see a very tall, very pale, very androgynous elven person, white, very pale skin, very white hair. You also swear you're looking at a poltergeist serving a drink at the bar, behind the bar. Also, there is this very elderly dwarven man sat at the end of the bar, and he is helping himself to a keg, which isn't sat at the end of the bar. It's stood. It's an animated keg robot, if you had to put words to it. That is it looks very happy, sort of tickling, like he's being tickled, giggling at the dwarf emptying out some of his things. And yes, you hear a cry of "Murder Mama!" Delvar, Clue, Hibara,
I
Perry,
mean,
you're back.
Ibarra went around.
Yeah, yeah. He's just like, overexcited, and you see a little. Where is Gorko on this sheet? Why can I not find him?
It doesn't look like he's here.
Why is he not here?
I mean, I can
Oh.
drag him in if you need him.
He's the beggar
Yeah.
there.
He's there.
There he is.
He
Okay.
exists
Yes.
now.
Hey, I'm happy. And yes, he comes running up and is very excited to hug everyone, and comes up to Javi after that and says, "Who are you? I'm Gorko. What's your name?"
My name is Baracas. I
Baraka.
just met these people, but we fought together and it was good. So
Was he a good fighter, Murray?
You fought together with like 4 of us.
Somebody decided to
Stare
fuck
at
off.
Ibarra if she was here.
Murder Mama, was he a good fighter?
They fought
Yeah,
well.
he didn't get his ass handed to him like me and Clue. Uh-oh.
Oh no. But you're
Don't
back, you're
worry.
okay.
It
Yes.
can happen to the best of us.
Oh, I missed you a lot while you were gone.
Oh, I
Come
missed you
in.
too, my
Oh,
dumpling.
hugs. Oh, it gives you a big hug.
And she's just like snuffling his hair. Like she's like leaned over double and just like snuffling it, going, "Oh, I missed you too. Oh, my dumpling."
And he's like giggling, and he was like, "Thelvar, I want to show you. I've been practicing spells. Clue too. It's later on. I'll show you the spells I've been practicing."
Oh, I can't wait, Gorgo. It's good to be home.
There probably
Yes.
would be a thud right around the entire building.
There'd probably be a thud.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is Hibara doing?
She went upstairs, cast Speak with Plants, and is
Oh,
talking
okay.
to Daryl, and
Okay.
is telling Daryl to shake snow off the building. So Daryl just wiggles
Yeah,
some
they
snow
start
off
wiggling.
the building.
Yeah. And outside the front window, you just hear thunk, and all of a
Oh.
sudden, there's all these yells from pedestrians on the street who weren't in the way of your covering here, like the people who were like on this. But yeah, there's like, as a bunch of snow just drops down in almost like a sheet in the front of your building, or all around your building, actually.
Yep, all around the building. That's why I mentioned it, because it'd probably be loud enough to hear.
Yes, thump. Yes. By the way, is there anything else you want to say with the plants when you were speaking with them?
No, not at the moment. Just
Okay.
having a conversation with Daryl, talking to him.
You and
Awesome
Daryl having a
chaos.
conversation.
Yeah. Telling Daryl of the recent adventures.
Checking in to see how many nondescript people have died.
Yes. So behind the bar, you see the androgynous person like get a smile on their face and say, "Oh, well, you're back already. How was your spa holiday?"
Not much of a holiday. I did some things I shouldn't have, and spent a bunch of time running. Got hit by a blight, went down for a second. Our pretty standard trip at this point, which is sad.
Ah, well, I'm glad you're up on your feet and alive. And I see. Can you guys go away and not bring somebody home? Every time you leave the tavern, somebody moves in.
Yep. By the way, do we still have enough rooms, or do I need to go back to my house in the dockyard for a bit until we get like a extra dimensional room or some shit?
Might need to
well,
tidy your room up before you leave it.
I can promise nothing.
Oh, good lord.
So, who do I have the pleasure of meeting? I'm Jarvis. Jarvis sort of ends up like walking around the bar and coming over to you, Baracus, and Glitter, who is also there, and it extends a hand to shake to each of you.
Nice to meet you, Jarvis. My name is Baracas. Hope. I come from a tiefling village that is long gone, but now I fought with these people. We met, and I think we have a lot of common causes to fight for. So, here I am.
Well, welcome, Baracus. It's good to meet you. And yes, this group does have a tendency to bring people home. But fortunately, we have ways of making new rooms. So tell me what, and who are you? And sorry, they introduce themselves to Glitter as well. And I just put a little glitter symbol on there as well because Glitter was kind of like hanging back quite a bit. It's very
Mara like like ushers like Gorko over and goes, Gorko, I'd like you to meet Glitter. Glitter's going to be staying with us for a little bit. They are darling.
and yeah, Glitter gives a bow and says, "It is an honor to meet you, Gorko."
Important to note, he's actually a tiefling, not a kobold.
Yes.
Actually looks like me, not like
Oh,
that.
Gorko's eyes get really big. He's like, he looks like you on the inside, but he's smaller than me.
First of all, don't say that he has a thing about his height.
Okay.
Also, I don't actually know how much he looks like me, but same race at the very least.
Oh, well, you want to come over and you want to see my room? Glitter's like,
Also,
yeah.
do we have a room for Glitter? Because we're running out of space here.
Gorko's like, he
Mara
can stay
does
with
have
me.
like the biggest room.
Yeah, I've got room
Does
in my.
Mara
It's a
have the
double
biggest
bed.
Hello?
Oh yeah, I think okay. It was drifting. Yeah, your
So
connection
that was
drifted
me
off.
saying, does Mara have the biggest?
I think
They have the
she has
same.
the. Yes. Mara does, because Mara has the old library.
That's true. What? So Jarvis says, well, why don't you go into the kitchen and get some pastries from Madame Cookery and some coffee from the Bobs. They're just making some more up. We had a very busy morning, lots of people through. And come back and tell me exactly what happened and how many rooms I'm going to need to arrange. And they point you, Baracus, behind the bar. Like you, they invite you to join them behind the bar, and everyone else too.
Yeah, Baracus just walks slowly wherever they take him, respectfully.
Yes, you, by the way, not only was this building warmer, and you were struck by like all of the goth themed artwork and look of the place, but you also could smell basically like a French pastry shop. It smells like butter and baking and deliciousness, as well as really strong coffee as you get closer and closer to the back kitchen. And working back there, you see a small, rather portly halfling woman with red hair. She's got her hair kind of all done up, and pinned back. And she is making, kind of arranging pastries that look like they just came out of the oven, 5 minutes ago and have cooled only enough to not burn her fingers to put them on the tray. And you also see it is all kinds of halflings working for you. There's two almost kind of identical looking halfling men who are also in the kitchen working alongside.
Are they
One,
halflings or half elf?
I thought they were short. The Bobs. Yeah, I
I
thought
may
they
be
were.
misremembering, but I thought they were half elf.
What do people? I remember them being short.
Oh, I remember being short, but I just remember them half elves, not halflings.
Okay, I will have to go back and check the canon on that. So keep that vague in your mind. One says hi, and the other one kind of nods to you, and hey, good morning. Who are you? I'm Bob. This is Bob. This is Madam Cookery. Jarvis sent you back.
Pleasure
to
to
you.
meet you. My name is Baracus.
What you doing back here?
I just joined this motley crew over here. I guess we're gonna fight together for common causes that are to come.
Oh, well, that's not a surprise. Yeah, come on in. Madame Cookery's just had some pastries come out of the oven, and Bob here has got the coffee. It is ready to be brewed. So, Madame Cookery comes over and she's like, "Yes, what can I get for you for breakfast? I have a croissant, I have pain au chocolat, I have pain au raisin. What would you like?"
Simple croissant and coffee would do. Thank you very much. I appreciate your hospitality.
Oh, I love to cook. And I am the head chef of Yod Hunt. So it is my honor to have a chance to make these gorgeous pastries with freedom the way I like. And oh, does that mean Hebara is back? Have you brought Hebara back with you?
She fucked off. She'll probably show up at some point.
Oh yes, I miss her. I miss her special berries. Definitely make very good money with her berries. But she's saying all this as she's kind of assembling a plate, and one of the Bobs brings you over. You know, it's like a long black coffee and a basically a still piping hot steaming croissant with a slab of butter on a plate. And says, yes, if you want, you can go back out on the bar and eat there.
Merci beaucoup.
Yeah, Dorian. Hey, Bubs, I need the next set, the butter ready for my next set of pastries. They go back to doing their thing in the kitchen.
Mara's like, oh, I missed the coffee here.
Sorry, what was that, Javi?
I'm loving the accent.
Oh, yeah.
Very français.
Yeah, j'étudiais le français à l'université. All right, so, yes, the Bob's like, hey, Mara, morning riser. Is this your first coffee of the day?
Yes, it will
Yeah,
be.
we can always tell. They hand you a cup.
Mara like sticks her nose like as far into the cup as she physically possibly can and just inhales deeply and just moans in pleasure and just is like clearly enjoying the coffee way too much.
Is anyone else going to be having coffee before Jarvis asks you things?
No coffee, but a lapsang souchong will do.
Sorry, what?
A lapsang souchong.
Oh. All right. All right. If you had those in your inventory, yes, they can boil you up some water and bring you out a pot with the brewing tea, so you can pour it when it's ready. What is it about? Okay, Roll20 was acting really weird. I could not for love nor money. Like, so by the way, Brackus, I'm going to drop your token on the map so you can move yourself around. And
Oh, is he
Jarvis
not that mystery person?
No. That was Crichton.
I thought you deleted him.
No, Crichton's over here on the side hanging out.
Oh, I don't even know
Everybody
who
else.
this is. I have to double click on that. Who are you?
Rackus has
It's no one.
Rackus
literally
has
no
a
one.
token, so
Oh, that's
it wouldn't
weird.
appear blank.
Yeah, he can be deleted without regret. Okay.
Should just delete all those ones and done.
Jarvis is like, well, okay, so Baracus, can I?
Oh no, my barrels of arrows has somehow collected tokens. This is going to be fun.
Sorry, what? Your bowels collected.
Many months ago, I started naming the things in Perry's room, and now Patsky's been inserted into the bowels of arrows.
Oh, okay. Patsky, yes, another person they picked up along the way. Liv is like when you kind of get your drinks and come back out and are like back out in the bar area. Jarvis says, "Oh, by the way, Chu, this is Liv, and you are introduced to the poltergeist, who bartends." Javi. Although Liv can't really shake your hand, but he does go over to some kind of weird-looking device and does something with his hands by it and looks to be speaking in some way, and then suddenly in like gay pride rainbow colors comes up in common. Lovely to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too. My name is Baracus.
Yes, Liv here is a previous proprietor of this establishment who couldn't bear to leave it, and I can't blame them really.
Jarvis says, so I think I need a debriefing. You want to do it here in the bar, or is it sensitive? We need to go to the conference room.
How many patrons are in there?
It's pretty. Jarvis also sort of motions over to this area, of the, can just sort of take over this table. There's nobody at the back of the bar. There's like a couple people sat in the front and one other person at the bar other than Clanghammer.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing too sensitive.
Okay.
Indeed. Yes. We'll just sit over here.
And let's hang at the
Basically,
fire.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
basically, we had to clear out a coven of hags.
Oh,
Which
goodness.
reminds me, we need 6 doses of celestial blood.
Jarvis looks a little bit stunned.
Oh,
Says,
yeah.
that's, I think maybe, Clue, your contacts would have an easier time getting something like that than your
Yeah.
average magic shop.
Yeah, I can look into some stuff in the gray market, or find an ASMR and coax it out of them if need be.
Yeah, if it's voluntary, that's easier than having to slay one for sure. It kind of defeats the point of saving people if you're killing something else. But
I mean, I guess, but like you don't need to like kill them to get their blood,
Yeah, but we don't need to make enemies of them either.
yes.
Yes, I'm sure we'll just go to the local infirmary and hit up their blood bank.
Oh, that would take some explaining.
I mean, you can do that, just not legally. So, again, I might have a guy.
Gotta go talk to a man about a horse.
Yeah, I know I have a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy
yeah.
who maybe knows a guy, but
Who
the
steals
guy
things?
doesn't know where the things comes from, but he does get them somehow. So you just don't question it.
Oh, right. Well, is there any outstanding business from this that we should add to the list of people who want to kill you?
I mean, the hags are gone. I mean,
Okay.
there was a Cambion there who's still alive, but we made a deal with him. That's for, good terms, as good as terms you can be on with, devils. But
I mean, there's the imposter who was trying to pretend to be Jal Axel. He might be a problem.
Jarvis looks kind of entertained at that.
I mean, from everything I've seen of the guy, he feels like the least problem you can have. Like he's a mild annoyance at best.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Oof, I would not want to cross Charlaxel and have my have that on my conscience. But anyway, and Baracus. So, what's your story? How did you get mixed up with this crowd?
Well, I came here looking for a friend of mine who was cursed by these hags, and these good people helped me rescue my friend, and also, that we bonded together in our common cause to fight this evil that seems to be spreading. I lived very long in the woods, so I know my way around nature, but at some point I've seen this natural force decaying, and I want to restore the way things were, and I want to make these creatures suffer less by defeating this evil.
Indeed, Baracus is fairly well traveled and knowledgeable. We thought we'd hire them on as, I don't know, a cartographer or a lawmaster.
Oh, right. Well, we do have some positions still to be filled. That is a point. So we're expanding the franchise a bit more, huh? We're expanding the company.
Always.
Indeed.
So is this kind of like a Jolly situation where you're grooming him to take over his own group, or is this more you think of a Perry where you think he'll be long term?
He's ours now.
Well, okay, that helps me with the arrangements. What about the Cobalt? Does the Cobalt also need a permanent room?
He's mine.
He's one of the people who got cursed, so if we turn him back to
Oh.
normal, he's probably going to leave, but
All
right
right.
now, Maya's kind of dragging him along, as she does so many
Yes.
people.
Well,
I'm not
Baracus.
that bad.
We didn't say you
Really?
were bad.
Really, Mara?
And have you told Baracus exactly what kind of risks he's incurring if he does join the company? Not that I'm putting you off, Baracus. This is a group that. Let me just ask you this. Did they manage to win despite being incredibly and completely dysfunctional?
I mean,
I
That was a
know.
question for
Jarvis!
I
Baracus.
prefer it if you would be more euphemistic about it, but yes.
I noticed, but they're still brave and they still do what they need to do when push comes to shove. So
Well,
I
it
I've never
sounds like
take
thought
you're
to
somebody
right.
instill
called me
some pride.
brave.
I try to instill some of my experience into these people so they can maybe handle themselves better in the future.
Well, these all sound like wonderful things to me, just what I think they need to take their game to the next level. So, yeah, Baracus, you sound like you will fit in as long as you have the patience of a saint and don't mind getting your hands a bit dirty. But I think before you make a firm commitment, if you come into the branch, the Solutions Guild branch of that PN2C, the company, you're going to have some people who are going to want to hurt you. So I just want to make sure we taken him through your list of enemies.
No,
All of our
not
enemies
yet,
are dead.
I mean,
Really?
not really. I mean, the
We still
old
have Xenophar.
Lord Neverember that's currently ruling. Neverwinter is still after us. You've got the fact that
Well, wait.
Mhm.
So talk about the grudge. I mean, basically, they have someone who runs the whole city of Neverwinter. Giving them sorry, there's a big, it just turned really windy out and my window got blown open, so got distracted for a second.
Yikes.
Yeah, so let's unpack this a little bit more, right? So the Never Ember is after you because of why exactly?
We
I
embarrassed
mean,
him because he a chump.
yeah, I
We
mean, there's
embarrassed him and
the
then completely outed him.
yeah, I mean, there's two reasons. There's the official like reason that everybody knows about, which is that we kind of showed that he was a fraud and he hit a bunch of dragons. Then there's
By the
sort
way,
of-
dragons, he means by that the gold
gold
piece.
coins of the
in-
gold, yeah.
Yes, he'd
And then
embezzled
there's
about 500,000
then
dragons.
there's a hidden reason that we like broke a bunch of people out of his supposedly impenetrable prison, which he's salty about. So,
You know, you could have just not mentioned that.
Well, I
Like I
think
said,
Baracus needs to know.
Baracus gets to know. I mean,
If Baracus is going to be family, Baracus needs to know exactly what he's getting into. So
Tony
also like
waves
while
vaguely
we're in
towards the
water deep,
patrons.
I mean, fuck Lord Neverember, you know. Most people in Waterdeep don't like him. Don't think they're gonna rat us out about a crime that we didn't even commit here.
You committed a crime?
Oh, for crying out
I
loud.
mean, Mara, we've committed quite a few more than one.
Mara kind of just looks at Clue in like the way that like a child who's clearly lying about something looks at their parent and like, I did something wrong? Blink, 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 blink.
I'd call you innocent, but I know better.
and then there's the Xanathar.
Are they
Mhm,
really after us for something we did, or are they just mad that we got to things first?
I
Is
mean,
there a
the
difference?
Xanathar, a bunch of reasons actually.
Can you explain what a Xanathar with the
Oh, by the
Xanathar
way,
is?
maybe
Yeah.
a quick. Xanathar are one of like the three-ish major guilds currently vying for the underworld. You've got um, the Drow, which Drolacto kind of leads, although his main place is Luskan, like he has general influence, trying to sort of get a bit of a grasp for our underground. Actually, I've got there's actually a fourth one coming up because the Undead, a bunch of Slaver, also tried to take Undermount, and it's
Oh fuck, the Undead, I forgot about them.
yeah. Although admittedly, they're not our enemies yet. I mean, they're Perry's enemy, but mostly because Perry hates them. I don't think they're particularly going after. Look, back to the video. So
Slavers
got-
deserve to die.
don't
Free
disagree.
Perry.
Just they're currently not coming after us. So we've got the Undine going after Undermountain, fairly new faction, not bothered with us yet. We have the Drow, which through a weird series of incidents we can get into later, sort of are analyzed now. Then you've got the Zentarum, that's the group I'm part of. We're mostly grey market. we have a bunch of like legitimate businesses, a lot of way more shady shit, and then you have the Xanathar, which are hooligans mostly that do a bit of organized crime. Like it's technically organized, but it's mostly just violence.
And they work for a beholder,
Yeah,
which is a monstrosity creature that is got multiple eyes and can like shoot things out of it. It's very scary.
yeah, eye lasers can probably, quite frankly, kill all of us very easily if he actually tried. But
Yeah,
guy has many afflates.
a flying ball with a big eye and a giant mouth with lots of eyeballs on stalks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is currently living underwater deep.
Yeah,
And runs a gang.
Skullport, I think. Yeah,
And
Yeah.
is
What we only-
insane.
yeah.
And is insane. Yeah.
What we're mostly dealing with is gang. I mean, first of all, I'm a Zend. Always gonna cause kind of, if you have a problem with those guys, then we
Don't
put
throw
us.
up.
The sharks and the jets.
Yeah, so that's one reason. The other reason is we kind of foiled their plans a couple of times, murdered some of their people. Then also kind of stole one of their people. Jolly is not currently working with the B team, but he was one of them at some point. So yeah, they kind of hate us. We also kind of need to, because of a court settlement, need to murder another one of their guys. So they're gonna hate us more in a bit.
Yeah.
For the rest,
There's the were rats.
I mean, those were just some random were rats in Neverwinter. I don't know if, Mars a were rat. Although I guess we also ran into some were rats over in this city, didn't we? With the necromancer.
The necromancer were-rats.
Yeah, so that guy fucking also keeps using time stop. We need to figure out a way to deal with that after that. It wouldn't be too much of a problem. Then you have...
Can't you just do a silence spell or something?
Silence also works. Closing all the doors, making people in front of doors work. Grappling him works.
Hey,
tying a
I
rope to
locked
him
that door
works.
that first day. He went straight through it.
He misty
Yeah,
stepped.
you need like a person in front of the door, so he needs to manipulate a living creature. But grappling works, silence spell works, just stabbing him with a ton of damage before he can cast a spell works.
Are you getting all this? Mara looks at Clue and then looks at Baracus. You getting all this? Because I'm lost and I was there.
Yeah, to be fair, the exact ways of killing him not irrelevant right now. Aside of that guy, there's also a guy from the rival company from Lucian Guilds, which is called
Dren?
Yeah, Dren Enterprise.
Dren Enterprises and Uba.
Yeah, Hope Shoop. I forget his actual name. I don't respect him, so I don't want to remember. Also, again, use time stop because he's a bitch.
I mean, so much for a short list, right?
I mean,
it's nothing if not interesting.
Oh, we've been busy over the last nearly 2 years now.
Yeah.
Well, game time.
I mean, in game it hasn't been 2 years. It's been like
6 months.
Yeah. For the rest, trying to think if we have any more enemies.
No.
Well, there is a threat
There's
that
the
Jarlaxle
they
mentioned.
might be enemies.
Oh yeah, you mean the Arcane Brotherhood, but they're not our enemies specifically as much as they're just the enemy of everybody who's currently alive. So, that's the issue. Oh, we're also going to be picking a fight with Zerial, one of the archdevils at some point. My sister kind of got into trouble with them because of the deck of many things. It's a whole thing.
And then we all have to deal with my curse at some point.
Yep.
Did we figure out if the Necromancer was in any way related to that, or are those entirely separate issues?
So, Baracus, by joining this company, as soon as you walk out this door, you're going to have a mark on your back. Is that all right with you? I mean, they'll have your back. They'll bicker, but they'll have your back. Are you ready for this?
Anyone who commits to doing good deeds in this dark world is due to make some enemies. So yes,
did we commit to doing good deeds though? Did we? We
Sometimes we're confused with the bad
guys.
guys.
On accident a bunch, but I don't even know if we committed to it.
I think some more moral compass wouldn't go amiss in this party.
Yeah. This is
Indeed.
true. Being that how many of us are chaotic, some kind of evil?
2 chaotic evil, 1 chaotic neutral, 1 chaotic good. No, 2 chaotic good. I think Perry and Tom are both chaotic good.
Oh, and
Mara's
so is-
chaotic good. Mara's chaotic good. Ryder's chaotic evil.
Yeah, but Ryder is the one that's generally out. So
Yeah, in charge.
As of right now, yes.
so I don't think we've got anybody
There's
lawful.
like no lawful.
And
Zero
most of us
lawful.
are. I think we actually have an that's before this we have an exact split between between good and evil. Although admittedly, Clue, like I don't know which way Clue trends. He weirdly trends lawful into his entire party for some reason, but that's entirely a fault of the circumstances. Like he needs to reel so many people back.
We're just chaos. We're
How
cats.
alignment changes happen. You grow as a person.
I mean, the thing about Clue is he didn't like care about law more as he just has to deal with people being more chaotic than him a bunch, which is stopping him from like doing his normal shit. Because if he starts being chaotic soon, then nothing happens. Like he's
doesn't
more
stop-
sensible chaotic than like a Hibara or a Mara are.
So speaking of Mara, shouldn't she be getting a visitor?
Well, I mean, again, I wanted to kind of like, there's more stuff on factions that you guys need to talk about.
Mara has
Yeah.
nothing to do with that.
Oh yeah, there's also
Yeah.
factions that we're not enemies of, by the way. I mean, I already talked about the Zentarum. If you're into crime, I can hook you up. For the rest, you've got
Declare that in front of the patrons.
Oh,
I did
there's
a
the
spider up
Spiders
here.
and Force Grey.
Yeah, so
The
I
Emerald
needed.
Enclave.
Well, just saying the names won't be enough. I actually need to take a quick break. So, do you want to describe what each of the factions are like while I'm gone for 2 minutes?
yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you. I'll be right back.
So you've got the Harpers, which are essentially the goody two shoes version of the Zentarum. They mostly deal with information gathering and general spy stuff for some sense of the greater good. You've got Forest Grey, which are how to describe them there.
Magic police.
No, that's the our first grade magic police because you have the
Think so.
black staff and the mages thing. I think first grade is just a general like militia group. I think
Yeah,
you're
they're the
thinking
militia.
about the
Perry was invited to join, and Perry has no magic ability, so
yeah. You're thinking about the guild of mages.
The Ember Enclave.
No, that's the druids.
How the
that's
fuck do I
Also,
remember
isn't it
that?
the Emerald Enclave? That's for the druids, not the Ember Enclave.
Emerald.
Yeah.
Because it's led by the Black Staff. I don't exactly remember their name. I think it's called like the Guild of Mages or something.
The Watchful Order of Mages and
Yeah.
something else. Yeah.
Which, by the way, I think you're gonna need to register with because you are a magic user. Just
Jarvis is like, I can take care of that paperwork. That's
And
fine. I keep
Also,
it
you're
honest.
gonna need to do your taxes, yada yada yada.
Yep.
For the rest, also as when you mentioned, we have the Emerald Enclave, which is specifically for druids. You can join up with them. So I think there's.
So,
you
what
also
have you
have
got
Force
so far?
Grey. Did we mention Force Grey already?
yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Lord-
Force Grey are kind of like they're the next step above the guard and the watch.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um,
They get called out if the city's attacked, kind of thing,
I
and
think
help
we're
also keep
still
order.
missing one.
The Lord's Alliance.
Yeah, that's one. We missed 30. Because Force Grey are mostly mercenaries. I think Lord's Alliance are directly related to the
Nobility.
to the city in general. I think they're
Yeah.
officially
Yeah, city nobility, but yeah.
Mhm.
And Brigandarth, which is,
Brigand-
but that's Drow only.
Oh
That's,
yeah, Brigand Guards,
Jarlaxle's.
that's a Drow faction that we
Yeah,
generally
it's-
just refer to as the Drow.
Yeah, that's Jarlaxle's group.
Mhm.
So yeah, Brigandarth, the Emerald Enclave for Druids, Force Grey for the Grey Hands being like you're basically city watch, city guard type of thing. Harpers, Lord's Alliance. Order of the Gauntlet is for clerics, monks, and paladins. And then there's the Xanathar Guild, which is, we talked about the Beholder, and the Zentarum, which is what Clue is a member of. Jarvis says it does help to have friends that you can go to and contacts around the city. And you do have people who can already vouch for you for membership. So I also think that they give you some pretty cool bling, right?
Mhm. Indeed, spell storing rings or rings with spells bound in them. Force Grey will give you pins of identification, like this one flashes their Force Grey pin under their lapel.
And I think that one can be a boost to your AC,
Mm.
mechanics wise. Yes, so I know, but it's a lot to process, Baracus, but you don't have to. Mara is a free agent. She doesn't have a membership with any faction, but are any of those of interest to you?
I'm out of character,
Mhm.
but I think my character is from the Harpers already.
Yes,
oh,
He has a
right.
contact
So,
within the Harper, so he knows them. That doesn't mean he's part of them.
yeah, I think that would probably be like having someone who's a contact. But if you want to be a member of the Harpers, we can make that happen. Like either
Yeah.
retconning it or you can
Mhm.
I
go
think
But
through
like,
it.
mhm.
I think my character. I think I can remember that he was a member of the Harpers at some point.
I think I sent you something in maybe our Twitter conversation. I could go back and look, but I don't think I would have assigned you to a faction because that would be taking away your autonomy.
Um, yeah, the thing is, like, Chloe also has contact with the Harpers, but that
Mhm.
doesn't mean he is one.
I mean, Mara
Yeah.
does too, but she.
Mhm. Like, we all know, like, I mean, yeah, technically we know a guy called Telvar and Perry, but
Yeah, you know higher up as well in the
Yeah.
yeah, we know like one of their addresses, so we can contact them without too much issue.
Mara
Okay.
is solely so the reason why Mara is a free agent is because she took a look at this and went, these aren't going to be fun. So
But
just
she ends up doing the jobs anyway. She just doesn't get
Yeah, she just
the
doesn't get
rank.
any wins. Yeah,
yeah,
I
because she's
think-
she's a like a pure being of chaos and just goes, I am doing this for other reasons.
No, I didn't. I just said you have a friend named Imar Mizram who has not been heard from since he went to a place called the Temple of the Restful Lily.
yeah,
And
Harper's would give that kind of information to somebody just to
Yeah.
have somebody save them. They don't necessarily need
I'll just
to.
check your backstory really quick to see if you, because I know you wrote up a nice backstory. I don't know if you mentioned it in there and I missed it. But
Like, you
anyway,
can be a Harper if you want to be, but like as a Druid, Emerald Enclave is also an option. It also means maybe we get a bit more information what's going on there. If it's not only Hibara over there, but
Yeah,
yeah,
Or does
that-
yeah,
that
you
is
don't
true.
have to
dragging
choose.
us out into chaos?
Yeah, so you don't. It's not like you have to pick one or the other. You know, you can't. Sometimes it might be the case that your faction's interest could possibly come into conflict, in which case that would be something your character would need to deal with. But generally, like the Druids and the Harpers are on the same page, and defending the city doesn't really ever go against the interest of the Harpers unless it's a bad ruler kind of thing. So you can, you don't have to just pick one faction. I think a couple of the members of the party have multiple
yeah, I think
bonuses from
Mara has none, and the
Mhm.
rest outside of Clue have two. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Perry only has
Um,
one.
Perry
Aren't you a
only has
member
one,
of the
he's
Grey on you're a member of
Force
Force
Grey?
Grey?
No, Perry didn't join
Okay.
it because he's
Oh, he wants to kill slavers. I think.
yes.
Is that it?
It's a
Yeah.
mixture of Perry wants to kill slavers, doesn't want to stand around trying to debate the morals of leaving them alive or whatever, and he doesn't want his history to cause problems for the Watch.
Yeah.
That's where. Oh, sorry. I thought Rainbow disappeared, but they're just in their spider webs. Sorry.
Chloe's just a one faction kind of guy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
Thelvar's currently with the Harpers and Force Grey. When the character swap happens, Angelique will be Force Grey, Harpers, and Lord's Alliance.
Okay. Yeah.
Wait, is
So-
Silver not Lord's Alliance?
No,
I
currently,
don't-
we haven't really
I-
interacted with the Lord's Alliance much.
No,
Yeah,
I think
and they're not Waterdavian noble, so
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that guy who came by, basically like Mara got scared off by him. He was trying to be all like, "Hey, you look awesome. You should join my group." And y'all were like, "You're kind of skeezy." That was the guy who was like the Lord's Alliance contact who brought you over to Lorraine Silverhand. So yeah, y'all never really warmed up to him. But the Lord's Alliance does exist as a faction. So-
Well, it's not my fault.
That's
He
Different than the open. Is that different than the open Lord of Waterdeep?
It's basically they work for the Lord of Waterdeep. Well, I mean, in terms of like they are part of the superstructure of the people who would go to fight in case the Lord's Alliance
Well, I
decided
asked
to do
because
something.
I have a rank 1 in what
Lord's
I've written
Alliance?
as open Lord of Waterdeep. So is that
How
the
the
Lord
hell
of
did you
Fire?
get
Probably.
that?
That's
Okay.
probably the Lord's Alliance then. Yeah, unless it was Force Grey, which I don't think you did do that one, but
No Force Grey is entirely.
Yeah.
They have no direct relation to the city, I think. Like the city hires them a bunch, but they're not officially ruled or controlled by the Open Hand at the very least.
yeah, it's probably in
yeah,
the
I know
thing
you
that
joined.
Volo wrote.
Yeah, I know you joined Force Grey. I don't remember you joining any others, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Emerald Enclave, obviously.
Well,
I did
yeah.
join them.
Okay, yeah. So Javi, getting back to you, were any of those groups of interest to you? It
I mean,
sounds like the Harpers.
yeah, kind of sounds like the Harpers, but considering my character is not in the Harpers, I'm
Yeah.
gonna talk in character now, okay?
Yeah.
I appreciate all the information you've been giving me and knowing what I know and happening what happened. I'd rather not take sides for now.
Okay.
Welcome
they're
to the neutral.
All I'm fighting is
Yeah.
evil, and I see possibility for evil in all of these organizations, and I want to side with them.
Mara
Fair
like
enough.
smiles and goes, "Welcome to the neutral party," and gives him a high five.
Yeah, you're in terrible company.
Fuck you!
Also, if you do want to join them, you know, they don't tend to just like let you join. You kind of need to do some job for them first, so we can like get you to talk to them, or we can, you know, make them take you.
Yes. All right. Okay. So yes, I guess the last thing then is if I'm ordering up a new room is for you to decide, Baracus, where you would like your extra dimensional space. So what we'll do is we will set you up with a door that looks like it would just open up into a wall, but we'll put a pocket dimension behind the door and we can set that up to be your bedroom. And you can have that room basically on any wall anywhere in the old haunt. So
Fancy.
if you want to, yep, anywhere from the basement all the way up to the roof. Although you'll have to get to the roof every time if you wanted to go that way.
Oh, do we want to warn him about the cube?
Oh, the
Oh, in the
gelatinous
basement.
cube. A waste disposal system.
Yes, we've actually we're in negotiations with a couple other businesses to take in their garbage. It works so well.
So my baby was a good idea.
Well, I mean, we have to, make sure we keep it in check by covering it so it can't. We find it would start to move around the rest of the room looking for things to eat, and so we have to kind of keep it a bit more confined. Hence the need for more
It was in a
garbage.
hole.
Yeah, but it can ooze out of the hole.
Oh no,
It
I'm just
does
reminding
happen.
you that it's in a hole. They could put a lid on top.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they've done. It's like a see-through kind of thing that they put over it, so they can keep an eye on it and also check how much it's digested and whether or not it's ready for more organic material.
If you look at the map down in the basement, Avi, that gray square, that's it. Don't
That's
touch
Mara's.
that.
That's Mara's baby.
So a gelatinous cube is usually something that players fear because when you fight it, if you have any non-magical metal weapons, it will start, or your armor, it'll start to eat it away at it. But of course, Mara wanted to keep it, so she found a jar and she scooped some up, and they've been like nurturing this ooze in the basement by feeding it waste products from the tavern and occasionally bodies.
Harry helped her.
Theoretically, bodies. We haven't actually. put a
Theoretically,
body
it's
there yet.
true.
Yeah,
Well, we're going to be feeding it a body
surprisingly,
real
we
soon.
haven't actually had to take any bodies and hide them. Most of the time when we committed murder, it was actually weirdly justified.
So
Very
Or
true.
easier to run away. One or the other.
We have a body
One
coming
body.
very soon.
Which
So,
That was
body
gonna
are
be
we gonna
fun.
get?
would you like to take him on a bit of a tour of the upstairs, so that he can get an idea of the layout?
I want to show him my baby.
Okay, I guess Mara wants to show you her ooze. Are you interested, Javi?
Sure.
Yay! Come on,
I mean,
Go pet
Javi!
you.
For me as a person, this is all very confusing. But for
Go
my
pet the
character,
ooze,
yeah, whatever.
Baracas. Just shove your hand right in there.
Javi, just roll with it because trust me, I'm just as confused as you are most of the time.
Just let the
Appreciate it.
nerds argue about it, and then they'll work it out. It's kind of a good way.
That's normally how I let them deal with things. Is like let them yell about it, and eventually I get my way or I don't.
Right, so yeah, Mara leads you downstairs down a set of steps here, and it's a basic storage area. It's quite cold, it being winter, and this area isn't heated, and it has what you'd expect in the basement of a tavern. There are kegs of beer stacked up. There are racks with bottles of wine and spirits. There are other storage area, but then she leads you around behind this wall, and what does he see?
He sees a
Tells me.
hole with like a kind of like a fence around, like a little like garden fence around it. Like it's not big. Like the fence is not big. It's like a little circular
fun.
piece of shit.
The hole's 5 foot by 5 foot.
Thank you. But it like Mara's like, so this is where Rimaru lives, and if you walk close, just you walk to the fence, you can look down and you can see him. Perry helped me capture it. That's why Perry's my favorite.
Okay. So that's gelatin, actually.
Yes. But I call him Rimaru.
When you
Fair.
look
Because
down,
he's a good slime slurp.
So yeah, when you look down, you basically, if you can imagine like a Jello, but a transparent Jello, right? But 5 feet, right, inside this thing, and on top of it, at the moment there are a lot of coffee grounds because it's the morning. So that's been the waste. Is mostly been like coffee grounds and some other things that stems of things Madame Cookery didn't need for her little apple tarts that she makes. And so, yeah, and it's just sort of slowly being brought into it. And underneath that top layer, you can see other layers of increasingly decayed organic material, occasionally a spoon that slipped in when they were doing the, clearing the tables, and it got away, it slipped into the garbage. But yeah, it's just like a decomposing Jello that you can see through.
Who's a good slime? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're such a good slime.
Wait,
I'm not
Mara, can
talking
you
to you
talk with
anymore.
it?
Say that again.
Wait, Mara, can you talk with it?
No, I coo at it. I coo at all things.
You can talk at anything. The real question is whether or not it answers.
Therefore, my with. Can you talk with it? Not really. Okay.
Well,
I do
with
not
the-
speak its language. But I love it with all my heart. And actually, the second I started cooing at it, both dogs came over and went, "Are you talking to me?" Which is why I was like, "Leave me alone."
I understand why these dogs are a little bit confused. Okay, we've seen this. Thank you very much. Let's go back upstairs.
Yeah. So you head back up, back to the
Thank you
warmth of
for-
the tavern.
Thank you for humoring me. I appreciate it. Most of the rest of the team doesn't like to come see Rimaru.
Always dear. You gotta love the chaotic types.
And she just smiled. Like the second Baraka says that, the look on Mara's face, like billion-watt smile, just she glows. She's like, I think I'm gonna replace you with my favorite.
All right. So yeah, so you guys bring back upstairs. You walk past the bar again, and this time the keg says to you, Baracus, "Hey, I'm Sippy. You want to put your lips around my spigot?"
Don't. Keep it
Oh
in your
yeah, we
pants.
forgot to mention this. We have a sexual innuendo machine.
It's the worst.
Oh God.
If you need a shot, I'll give you one.
No, shut up,
Okay.
Sippy.
While I appreciate your humor, I don't really fancy my way around machinery so much. So I
Oh,
thank
okay.
you for your approach, but please do understand that I don't interact with machinery so much. We can talk as much as we want, though.
Okay, that's all right. You want more Clanghammer? And the dwarf that was looking pretty drunk says, "Yeah, I'll take some more. Come over here, Sippy." And Sippy comes over. Yeah. And
Luke
like,
just kind of leans into Baracus and starts talking to him. Just so you know, we're pretty sure that's not actually a dwarf. Found him on the ground.
I'm
with
a
body.
dwarf. I'm a dwarf.
I
I live with the
I mean,
dwarves.
does she?
Of
Do you
course
speak
you are.
Infernal? That's weird for a dwarf.
Does he speak Infernal? I don't think so. I think he speaks Draconic.
Mm-hmm.
I have to check. Oh, Infernal. I have to check. Dang it! Come on, roll 20. Give me the right clickety click here. There we
No.
go.
He's Asian, so he might know just a bunch of random languages. As well.
Yeah. No. He's like, I don't speak Infernal. I speak Dwarvish. Because I'm a
I mean,
dwarf.
I challenge you on that, but don't know any dwarfish myself.
Ha! Ha!
Oh, that's strange. I've not seen you digging any holes.
Baracas speaks vaguely into the dwarf's direction in Infernal and says, "Lies have very short legs."
He looks very confused at you.
Kiddo also looks confused at this. Just that's a saying, I guess.
Try again, Cobbin there, Sonny.
I'm
He's
confused.
just looking kind of like he's just looking at you drunken. He's not aggressive or anything. He's just sort of like confused
He's
by
just
you.
drunk.
Who again, I guess
These
Baracus
are
in
like
Infernal. Don't agitate him because
Yeah,
he can
Baracas
just fuck
just
you up.
smirks and turns around and goes on with the tour.
Okay.
he's like our drunk uncle. We deal with him, but he confuses all of us.
Oh, I thought that was the drunk uncle.
Oh, he says, I think what we need now is a shanty. And he starts humming a shanty song. And Sippy starts swinging along, and all his insides are sloshing, so it kind of throws off his balance a little bit. And yeah, that's what you leave at the bar.
And Perry's like, speaking of shanties, is our ship still in port?
No, I think they started to do that like Loskin trip. I think.
I believe they left as soon as we left, like on the
Oh,
same
wait,
day.
you're talking about
The B
Jarlaxle.
team.
The B
B
team.
team.
B team, yeah, they're well on their way. Yeah, they've been doing their stuff for a while now. They're in the middle of their adventure. You want to explain the B team to
Lower level
Harvey?
people.
Is
They could do
there
good drug
any
work.
explaining the B team?
I mean, the B team is just well, it's what the name says. It's the B team.
Yep.
We got some people to do some contract work for us. Basically, what it boils down to. They are, however, somehow weirder than the main team.
What they're leaving out is that they play all the characters in the B team. It's basically like a
Yeah.
spin-off. It's like a spin-off of a sitcom, you know,
Yeah,
and
they're
so
basically secondary characters that we have for when we want to
Everybody.
do something different, but want to still be in this
Yeah,
world.
it's most well. We also take although I mean they're not actually a C team because they're not directly associated with the party. But we have alt characters, and the B team is like a group that directly works for PN2C.
Mhm.
yeah, so they play their own employees basically.
Yeah, we're the fucking worst employees possible.
So it
Uh.
started because I wanted them to do some adventures, but they were really low-level adventures, but they were important for the story. And I was like, I can't be bothered to like go through and manually level up all of these baddies. So I'm just like, why don't we roll you some lower-level characters, and they can be like your B team. They can go do stuff, you know, that you might be too advanced for, or you know, you don't, whatever. So yeah, they have at some point we don't have to worry about it now. The B team isn't going to be brought up at any point, but if you want to, yeah, like you can join the B team as Baracus. That's fine when they come back from their adventures. But if you want to also roll a character too to play when they play, but that's a little bit,
Mhm.
yeah, just FYI. But we won't
That's
ask you to do
in the
anything now.
future.
Much in the
Mhm.
future.
I
That's
guess
why-
we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Exactly.
That's why they
But-
asked if anybody knew if Crichton was related to Mara. Because
Yeah,
Crichton is my B team character, and he
Mhm.
is also Mara's cousin, but is madly in love with Mara. Because I'm fucked up.
It's a little family incest.
See, she
well,
forgot
aspiring.
that she made him cousin,
No,
and then
he had
she
a crush
added the
on her.
whole crush concept. And then I don't remember which one of us said it, but then we were like, "Wait a minute! Didn't you say like a month ago that they were cousins?" And then we scrolled up, and yes, she did.
and I just rolled with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she also forgot her character was 16 years old and was.
I didn't
14.
forget.
Yeah, but then all the shit you did with your
But
life
wasn't
suddenly
that
became
technically
very weird.
everyone else forgetting?
Yes, that was everybody else forgetting, and me just going, okay, fine.
Yeah, 16-year-old dressing in like some of the most inappropriate stuff. But
Yeah, she's dialed it
Um,
back a bit. So
yeah.
I've been trying. Also,
Yes.
just so you know, every single outfit I have picked out has been worn by an anime minor.
Yeah,
is
but
true.
anime is not
Usually
like.
younger.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the thing is, anime doesn't have like a good track record concerning that kind of stuff.
That's my point.
Like, like most of the time with anime, you just kind of need to forget about the age, or things get awkward real fucking fast.
Yes, they do.
And another thing with anime, just because they look a certain age doesn't mean they are a certain age. But yeah.
Yeah, we're not talking about like the 500-year-olds who look like 12-year-olds. Okay, that's a discussion. I don't
No, I
wanna
was
have with
literally
anybody.
picking teenagers and picking outfits based on what they were wearing.
okay, so we still have to pick. You guys have to give Javi the tour of the tavern.
Mhm.
We're working on it.
Yeah, okay. We just went down an
Tavern.
anime rabbit hole. I was trying to bring us back to the game.
Has he not seen the tavern?
Only the ground level. And the
Oh, you meant
basement.
upstairs.
Yeah,
I thought you meant like the area where people get served the booze.
I mean the whole build, the manor. I guess.
yeah, the upstairs. I was like, I
Yes.
don't think he gets a tour of the booze place, Christy. He's just there.
He's seen the booze place in the basement so far.
In that case, Perry's going to signal to Brax to follow and go. First, go grab some more hot pastries, and then go outside to go up the stairs.
Yes,
Yeah.
showing you the more private areas of the manor.
So,
you all head outside. You go out the back stairs and you come up now on the second level to this main door that leads into this sort of this big conference area.
so yes, you have
So,
the conference area, and then through
mhm.
this door you have the
Habara's room,
balcony
enter,
and Hibara's residence.
enter at your own risk.
If you like plants and spiders and naming things, you'll probably be all right.
Yeah. How about Corey? You want to describe what Hibara's room looks like?
Well, I was about to ask, are they going to enter Habara's room?
No.
I mean,
I think
you
everyone's
gotta
scared
respect
of
people's
Hibara.
privacy, right?
What was that?
No, I mean, you gotta respect people's privacy. That's their room, is the room people don't enter, right?
It's
I
a
mean,
balcony.
It's a balcony.
Okay.
I mean, there's the door. You could just open the door. It's not locked. Never locked.
Okay, we just take a peek then, very quick. Because we know Hebara is outside, so no need to.
Oh, she's
is
in
she-
her room. Like,
she's
as
back
soon as
in
you
her room
open the
now.
door, you see Habara sitting on the floor. And now that you open the door, you hear her say, and that's when Clue ate a baby. Except he didn't eat a baby. He just thought he did. But we made sure to check that it was not a baby.
So we
And
gently
Rainbow
knock
is
on
like,
the door,
"Get out!" You see this
gently
spider,
knock
like
on the door and say hello.
this
Oh,
little spider's got its arms waving in the hair. It's like, "No, you're kidding." So yeah,
so
you hear.
so Baracus leads out the door and says hi, or he knocks on it and says hi as he does that.
Yeah, gently knocking and saying, knock, knock, hello?
Bar turns to look at the door and says, "Oh, hi. What are you doing?"
We're just taking the tour of the building. I assume this is your room, so
I
just
mean, I
say hi.
guess if you, as you can see, it's open.
I
Come
appreciate
on,
openness. Thank you very
come on.
much.
You can meet Rainbow and Carl and Bernice
Nice to meet
and
you. Nice to
Dare
meet you.
and she points up as she says Daryl and Daryl.
So
You
when
should
you
stay
walk in
away
the
from
room,
Daryl.
when you walk in the room, it is a balcony, but you also see that there are a bunch of trellises that have been hung, and plants that are like surviving despite the cold. And you also see a rainbow-colored spider
Spider.
in a spider web on the corner, and it's waving at you.
Okay, so Baracas just waves his hand and appreciates the plans and says hello back to the spider very peacefully, very amicably.
Hello, I'm Rainbow. I didn't pick my name, but I'm kind of stuck with it given my colors.
How do you talk being a spider and all?
I used to
Not
be the
really
familiar of a
sure.
wizard.
Yeah, we're not really sure if this is like wizard magic or if this is like familiar stuff.
I mean,
Whatever. We don't think about it. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't ponder my existence that much.
yeah, I think technically familiars are like spirits and not actual animals, so shit get weird.
The DM just really liked Rainbow, and so intervened as
Mhm.
God to make Rainbow
Then
something that could live in the.
it's a pleasure meeting you, Rainbow.
Yes, very yes. It's very nice to come out here. It's fresh air. It's lovely, and lots of good, tasty bugs.
You can
I
stay
know
here
what
if you want.
I
Were
know
you?
what you mean. This
Didn't you
is a
say
great.
you were a soldier?
Yeah, I used to be a soldier and I used to live in the forest. I don't mind the outdoors. But I also respect your privacy. Don't worry.
She just kind of looks at you. Okay.
Harry leans in and whispers, "There's a lot of things she doesn't quite have the same concept of."
Yes, unlike you, Habara's lived a fairly sheltered life.
I don't know if her life was sheltered as much as just fucking weird.
So are you going to take the robot room? Or are you taking the dwarf out?
But
Jarvis
just
has followed up and said, "Oh, Hibar, I'm just going to hang another dimensional door, so it doesn't require moving anybody out. I'll just call main office and say we're expanding the company due to the recent successes we've had, and we need more space. So there is a door over here, Baracus, that would, if you could also use the space. For instance, we could hang your dimensional door over here by the stairs if you wanted to have access to the outdoors. And there are two different ways of getting into this
Seems
balcony
like a
area.
good place, and it's a first floor, so in case of an emergency or whatever, you can jump off the balcony, right?
Yes,
Oh,
you can
yes,
jump
yes.
off the balcony.
Well, that's the thing. That door is to get to this door for this room.
Okay, but I mean, this whole area is still kind of open. We could hang a door.
Yeah, and anyway, you need the privacy and just inside of your interdimensional portal, right? I mean, the rest is just like everything is like a big hallway in a way. It's like a corridor.
Yeah, we could have the Bobs, for instance, build a little folding trellis sort of doorway here. It's just to kind of separate this area as if you felt like you needed privacy.
Seems like a good spot. Let's just continue with the tour then.
Yeah, that's option one. And Jarvis like makes some notes, and Bob's build a trellis, or just whatever you decide. Jarvis seems very competent.
Good.
Perry, you continue with the tour?
Harry's going to then guide Baracus through to the hallway with stairs and see if Clue's door is locked.
Are you not showing in the bathroom?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, he'd wave and say, "Oh, that's one bathroom. There's a couple others dotted around."
But I assume we also have like interdimensional bathrooms.
No, those are
Just
physical.
regular bathrooms.
Just regular bathrooms. But yeah.
That one's
In
technically
addition
the
to
guest
regular
room.
bathrooms.
Yep.
Again, Perry's going to see if Clue's door is locked.
Yeah. That's the thing he does generally remember to do.
Especially with Bara.
And Gorko.
Come back to that. That's Clue's room. You don't need to worry about that most of the time. It's a total mess. But he has his own little balcony as well.
It's not a total mess. It's a singular, piled mess that's very orderly in the general lineup of the room.
I have a question. What is this blue line here? Is that a glass window in the bathroom?
Yeah, that's the bathroom window.
It looks like a bathroom window, like wall. Like you could
Well, I
watch
mean-
someone
It's
poop
the
through
entire
that.
room.
You just
but
look out of the balcony, you know?
I assume it's stained glass.
It's frosted
Yeah, I would
glass. Yeah.
assume.
Okay.
It's like
okay,
one-way
okay.
glass, so you can get people.
Okay, good. Just wanted to clarify that.
And then, I guess it's up the stairs. And Perry points out Mara's room, Jarvis' room, the little lavatory, Velvar's room, and a portal which he's not entirely certain because he still doesn't have a good sense of the place himself.
Well, by the way, Baracus, I noticed that you're a bit of a dab hand with alchemy. In my room, there is a interdimensional door. Which leads to an alchemy lab. You're welcome to make use of it as you need it.
I appreciate it, Thurvar.
And then this is did you show him Perry's room?
He's going to do that next.
Ah, okay.
And then on the top floor, Perry points out the door to Friend's room, and then invites Baracus into his, pointing out the barrels, pointing out the workbench and all the various tools, and says that if Baracus needs, he's welcome to take some arrows.
Appreciate it. Good to know.
I'm not sure if there's anything I missed. To be honest, I spent
I
more
think
time
just
up
the
here.
top tower.
Yeah, this dimensional door leads
Mhm.
to the Bob's new room, yeah?
Yeah, that's the
think
one
that's
Perry
right.
said he doesn't know.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because where's I thought.
Because the Bobs were in this room until we got
Friend.
friend.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, we
then-
have to introduce him to Friend.
And then, what was
Yeah,
it? They were
Friend's
in
under
this room
assignment
and you
at the
got
moment.
Perry.
Hmm.
So, yeah. Poor Bobs. Keep getting moved around.
22. All right. So then oh, it didn't go anyway. Yeah, so that
I would appreciate to put my interdimensional balcony, interdimensional portal into my room, just in the balcony where we pointed out before.
yeah, no problem at all. Oh yeah, I think the bottles were basically just in a closet. What was a closet? They put their door in front of it, or a bathroom, like it hangs on the bathroom door. I don't quite know. But all right, then let me copy it. Where would you? Do you know how to ping? So are you thinking right next to the door when you walk in, or you want to like have it a little bit farther away on the other, like about there?
That's a good spot.
Okay. Yep. Can I do? Is a drawing? Yes.
I
then
was
can
talking
use-
while muted, like, yay.
Oh, I've done that a couple
We've all
times
done
tonight too.
that.
I hear you.
All right. Then we'll add the text there too. We could put Baracus. Oh, of course it didn't go. Dumb thing. All right. Come on, Christy. Get it together. There we go. All right. Yeah. So Jarvis says that they will get it. Sorry, I can't talk. I can't DM and spell at the same time.
Not
Baracus.
me to put it on there then.
Yeah, I got it. There we go.
Okay.
And yeah, so what do you would you like a traditional bed? I know that Hibara oftentimes does meditation and prefers more like a mat or something, instead. So
He has no furniture, remember?
Oh, she has no furniture. Yes.
Yeah, she mulched it.
Right. So Jarvis would just like to know, like, what do you need? A chest? Do you need drawers? Would you like to be able to hang things up? Do you need a desk to write at and writing things?
Just a
Uh,
simple, just basic. Maybe a desk would be good to make my potions, but I'm used to make my potions on the run anyway. So anything that will be basic will suffice.
Very good. I think we can make some arrangements by this evening so that you'll have a place to sleep tonight.
Thank you so much, Jarvis.
I'm here to solve problems.
Aren't we all?
In our own ways. Yes, we are. Well, good. I think that takes care of most of that, except for the paperwork, of course, getting your citizenship, getting you the contract with the Solutions Guild, getting you allowed to practice magic. There is a 3-day grace period because the tourism, long weekends and things, they can't be bothered as long as you don't do, anything destructive. So if you can just keep your magic on the quiet for the next few days, we should have you sorted out by the end of the week.
Can do. Thank you so much.
Yes. Of course. In the meantime, friend is away, so if you do need a place to, rest or have some quiet, the Bobs did go through and tidy it up and change the sheets for when friend comes back. But you are more than welcome. It's the room across from Perry's, upstairs.
Appreciate it.
Friend is away?
Isn't friend on assignment with the B team?
See?
I don't think so.
No, we wouldn't have let that happen.
Oh, okay, all right. Then never mind. Although friend doesn't really need to sleep, so he can give his room for an afternoon. But okay, sorry, I got that conflated in my head. Right. Okay. So
You were probably remembering Never-Ember.
yeah, maybe. Yes,
Hmm.
probably. So does Baracus feel a little bit settled and oriented? Or at least
I would say so, yes.
slightly starting to.
Yeah, it's starting to sink in. I mean, the geometry is simple. It's just that all of the details and characters
Yeah.
and context that are overwhelming me as a person, as human Javi.
Yeah.
But Baracas is doing just fine.
Yeah, you just need to remember the main characters and Jarvis, really, and the rest of them
There
are
you
just
go.
sort of drift in and out. Madam Cookery kind of just comes up in the morning. The Bobs come up when things need to get done. Liff is always behind the bar. So, yes, they'll be friends soon enough.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so now I think we can switch to some sorting out, reconciling timelines. And before we do role playing, can we get done the ones that don't require role play? Like, for instance, I know Corey, you had some ideas about reconciling from the one shot with Manchun.
That requires role play.
Yeah, that does require
Oh, okay, okay,
well,
okay.
light
okay.
role play. It should
Okay.
Well, not really.
like one
'cause,
conversation.
You know,
Well, two conversations.
yes.
All right.
That was like Mara gets to have a conversation with herself, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, I was thinking we
there's
can save
that,
that one to the end.
and then another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we save Mara's conversation with herself to the end, and the introduction of Lady Gondafrey. Yeah, so Habara's got some stuff to do, right?
She does. Does anyone want to do something like today, or can I skip to tomorrow morning?
Let's see. Clue, would you or
Yeah,
what?
I'd
Yes.
probably check with Devil today to see about getting that celestial blood.
Okay. So how about does anyone else have errands for this immediate day?
I suppose Thelvar could go and inform the Harpers about what they dealt with, but we can just auto that.
Yes.
Don't need to role play that out.
Okay. Oh, I just realized. Yes, Jarvis has stuff to tell you all. All right. So yes, before we move on, in your absence, so Omendron is the leader, is the person who's the head of the Solutions Guild, Javi. So the Solutions Guild is sort of like a guild of adventurers, just like there's a Brewers Guild or a leatherworking guild. It's an attempt to try to create a professionalized source for adventuring expertise and work, or at least, pay someone to make a problem go away. He sent the party away after so that they recovered all this money. There was some drama at the Waterdeep Council of Masked Lords because they had exposed that Neverember was the person who'd stolen the money and sent it all away. Neverember still has some allies in the city, so it was a little bit controversial, but the evidence was overwhelming. However, it also kicked off, and they were honored. Like the party were honored. I think you guys, the Open Lord of Waterdeep praised them, and it was all fine. But there was a big media frenzy because of all the scandal involved and some of the side issues as well. And that's when Omendron sent them on holiday of this weekend spa where you met them, and that's where the timeline picks up. But over the weekend, he's been trying to do some stuff with the media, but he also asked Jarvis that he's not some woman over at the Waterdeep Wazoo keeps insisting that his company had signed a deal for an exclusive rights to the interview about what happened, and if he tries to get them to talk to anyone else in the media, she is going to sue him out of existence. And don't think she won't, because she's been in Waterdeep longer than he has, buddy. So
About fucking time.
there is the story itself is still mostly focused on the politics and the city politics. There are also now rumors of alliances with Luskin, and Luskin becoming part of the Lord's Alliance, and that would be, and so a lot of it is highbrow, more city politics stuff. But the Wazoo really wants this story, and so he does say that he wants you to sit down with them for an interview, in 2 days. So I didn't want to do it today because it's just too much, but you guys can have a little time to get back and then let the story die down a little bit before it turns to the attention of the adventurers and your company, and obviously promoting the Solutions Guild and getting a lot of free advertising.
Mara, again, this time the grin is sinister because she has been setting up her little chessboard, and she's finally getting to talk to the press. She has been trying to set up this meeting forever.
All right, so that's what Jarvis has to say. Also that they still occasionally feel like the place is being watched while you were gone. No one's attacked it, no one's come in. There's been no disturbances, but it's just kind of that feeling, and as well, just for the last thing from Jarvis, I had figured this out today. You haven't set up a formal, I think, business relationship with the reagents for the underwater breathing potion stuff that the B team connected you up with, or the rare herb women that they rescued from the drawn attack.
That is correct. I don't think there was a formalization.
Right. So I didn't include that, but I did figure that. So I figured out your monthly cost. I just did this for y'all, and because you're supposed to do activities, franchise activities, I just kind of counted all of your media stuff as marketing for this month, so that we could kind of move beyond doing an extra downtime activity, and figured in all of your side businesses now with Madame Cookery and the pocket bread business. And I came up with a total of, for this last month, you managed to clear 21 gold P in profit.
Ooh.
So that can go in the group kitty. Just a little extra gold for this month. And that's with all your expenses paid, all the employees paid, all the bills settled. That's pure profit. And after Jarvis pays you your money, that's all they have for you.
Oh, very well.
All right. Yes. So, Corey, now Hibara's got some. Yes, I'll just
Oh, you didn't want to do clue stuff?
Clue stuff about his gun stuff.
No, the
No, about
the blood and
Oh,
the
right. Oh, with Davil, yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to role play that out, or do you want to like?
I mean, it's just.
Would you take
Uh,
Baracus with you to the
Uh,
tavern, to the
I
yawning
mean,
portal?
if he wants to go, but I don't think he's gonna join the Zen, so he
Oh
wouldn't
no,
take him to meet Devil at the very least.
no,
Like
no.
if we're going in the evening and we're going drinking afterwards, like he can
Yeah,
come.
yeah. I think that's it. Like if Felvar got your stuff sorted, and everyone else is, you could take him out to the yawning portal for a drink.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I thought I could meet you there after reporting to the Harpers.
yeah,
Yep.
that works.
Yeah, you can go meet up with Renier
Yeah.
if you want. Yep. And yeah, you could. So you would talk to Renier about. Oh yeah, Ilman too said goodbye to you, and when you guys, he came back with you through the city. I kind of completely forgot about him, but he actually gave you his address in town. You and Perry, and it said goodbye and left when you all went to get the carriage earlier. So, yes, you could report. Yeah, what would you report to Renier exactly?
Wait, when do you
Sorry
meet
for
Devil?
Thelvar for no, no
Oh,
for
for
Thelvar first, because that could be kind of a quick role play here. You get to his house, he'd be very gracious, glad to see you. Still upset about some of the scurrilous rumors, but he's got his media people on it now. And as well, Colleen has come out to make a public statement, and she's been feeling, I don't know, much better ever since the stuff came out about Neverember, because she realized that, he was actually an asshole the whole time and she could do way better.
Yeah, wasn't reporting to Renier, was reporting to the Harpers.
Okay, so you want to go to Mert?
Yeah, as I said, don't have to role play that out. Could
Okay.
just
Well, Mert's very difficult to get a hold of. I mean, his mechanics are he's out 90% of the time. So you could roll to see Mert to see if you can finally get him at home.
Okay.
Okay, let me look that up really quick. And the Harpers. Oh, of course, it's not in this part of it. See Appendix B. Oh, for fuck's sake! All right, just roll a D100, and you need a 90 or 90 through 100 for Mert to be at home. Nope. No, he is not at home. Did you want to guess? So again, this guy never seems to be around. You met him at the theater, you remember, but you've never met him at his freaking house.
I'll just leave a message and
Okay.
informing him basically that there were some hags that were luring people out of Waterdeep to curse them and whatnot, but we've dealt with them and it's fine now.
Okay. Yep. You can slide that through his front letterbox.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, head over to the yawning portal.
Yep.
All right. So for the rest of you who are going to the bar, so Have, when they invite you to go to the yawning portal, you up for that?
Yep.
All right. So you come down you all meet in the warmth of the ground level tavern while the carriage is brought around. And yeah, it's starting to pick up business. There are now candles on all of the tables to kind of give more light around the room. The fire is burning very brightly. The smells have switched from coffee and pastries to more like beer and, carbs. But it's a pleasant smell. It's like a very hearty smell. The evening special is a potato soup that Madame Cookery has left and some really nice crusty pocket bread that you all like
Oh
too.
God.
So they have an illegal bread smuggling business. That's the reference to the pocket bread because it fits in your pocket. And Jarvis kind of looks out the window and says, "Oh, Parker is here." And you all go outside. You walk down the steps through the curtains into, again, it's really cold now. The night is cloudless and kind of windy. It's feeling like freezing kind of weather now. What you see, Javi, or what Baraka sees, is a dray, kind of like what you rode earlier today, but this one looks like a hearse. and it says "Ye Old Haunt" on it. And there's a man. It's a human man. Seems to be middle aged, and looks down at you and says, "Oh, good to have you back." And the party tell you beforehand that this is Parker, one of the company drivers. Where are we off to tonight?
We're off to the yawning portal.
Ah, oh, yep, very good. Get in. I did try to add some heaters to the carriage while I was setting up the horses, so hopefully it won't be quite so freezing inside.
Winter ain't it?
Yeah. So you all climb in and set off. This time this is going to be quite a long ride, carriage ride, much longer than the one before. You end up heading down the main streets of Waterdeep, which, even though it's only about 6:30 in the evening or so, it's pitch dark. The houses, have warm lights coming out of them. There are still people walking up and down the main roads. It's still quite busy, even though it's getting to be increasingly dark. And if you scroll down on your city map past like the Castle Ward and the City of the Dead, you'll come to the Trades Ward. And there's a purple box there. Yep, you're heading for that place. That is the famous Yawning Portal, one of the entrances to Undermountain. Originally on the outskirts of Waterdeep, the city just expanded and grew up around it. And when you walk in from the cold, Parker drops you out off in the front because, he can go find someplace else to park and then come back. You walk into basically like a mess. I don't have the picture of it anymore, and I'm kind of annoyed. I guess I can show you that there is a handout that I have. Player handouts, key to the Yawning Portal. So I think I took the picture out because there were so many maps and images was slowing down the game, and we never really used the Yawning Portal map after the first game. And so there we go, show to players. So you should be able to see that now. That's kind of what it looks like inside. The Yawning Portal is a big, like I said, kind of open building, open tavern with multiple floors. And set back from the bar is a massive hole in the ground with a winch device over it that looks like it's used for lowering people in. At the moment, it says vampire infestation currently out of service, but there are still people sort of sat around the edge of the portal looking down, and it's kind of got a cozy feel to it. So Clue, they're gonna stay downstairs, and you can introduce him to Davil, and you can also Yagra. There's a half orc woman who knows Clue, obviously, comes up and is very friendly. And asks how you doing, you big lug.
Good enough, you. Still
Yes.
Finding some marks, I hope.
Yeah, I love taking money from suckers. And she clings her money bag. You hear coins jingling inside. They keep thinking that they're going to beat me in arm wrestling. It's amazing what what bravado alcohol inspires in the hopeful.
Yeah. By the way, this is Brockus. This is my friend over here.
Ah, hey, Baracus, and
Name I'm subtly blanking on for some reason. We said
Yagra?
5 seconds ago. Yagra. Yep. This is Yagra. Show
Nice
me
to
good
meet
time,
you,
will ya?
Yagra.
yeah, she
Me
puts
too.
out like a big green, orc half orc hand, and it gives you a firm grip. He says, "Oof, you look like a fighter." Clue, is he got potential?
I mean, he's more on the magic side of things, but I think he'll do fine enough.
I used to
enough.
be a fighter in my day. Now it's all about staying on the sidelines, but appreciate it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, if you ever want to arm wrestle and lose some money, you can always find me here.
Yeah, keep these guys entertained because I need to talk to Devil real quick.
Yeah, so you can all kind of hang out with Yuragra, and she can tell you some stories of like arm wrestling matches that she's won. And Clue, yeah, you can head up upstairs. After a little bit of a wait, you, Davil is like, "Well, hey there, Clue. Seen your name in the paper a lot lately.
Yeah.
You're famous. Can I get an autograph?" He slides over a piece of newspaper and a quill.
Well, for you, anytime. Just he's just gonna try and make that thing as ornate as humanly possible. That would be calligraphy.
Yeah, gonna do me a roll.
Yep. Ooh, real
Ooh.
fancy.
Well, I didn't realize you were such an artiste.
You've gotta have many a talent to be famous.
Oh,
Well,
Clue, you do make me laugh. So, where you been hiding these last couple days?
they gave us. Well, they called it a spa day. In reality, it was an actual mission to kill some hags.
Oh,
On which note,
Ooh.
they like kind of cursed some people
night
using
or
some
green?
paintings. Yeah, pretty sure green are the ones that go invisible, right?
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah,
Nasty.
yeah, it was a coven, so entire
Ooh.
magic. Like we were actually really lucky because they like cursed one woman to be a Medusa, and she'd like turned two of them to stone. It was incredibly handy considering one of our party members just decided to fuck off. Well,
You fought alongside a Medusa?
yeah, it was kind of
Whoa.
neat actually. Just,
Yeah, what was that like?
I mean, like you'd assume, like if hacks turn somebody into a Medusa as part of a thing, it would like make them significantly less powerful. But like
Hmm.
Medusas can kick some fucking ass, man. It's like just don't watch out for a second. You just don't. That's it. You're done.
Yeah, I only want to. I can fight. I'd rather fight on the side of Medusa than against one. I'll tell you that.
Mm,
Ooh, well, sounds like you didn't have a very relaxing vacation.
no, definitely not. But on that note, to deal with those curses, we're gonna need
Mm-hmm.
some non-standard ingredients, specifically celestial blood.
Oh, whew. Any particular kind you have in mind?
I mean, we only know celestial blood, so we're gonna
Okay.
assume just even an ASMR would work, probably. But it's
Well, maybe the easiest would be unicorn.
oh,
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, unicorn. That's proper celestial.
Yes. I mean, I've heard tell of some people who claim to have it as a reagent, but oof. What are you willing to spend?
I mean, well, one of the people we're gonna be curing is the Medusa that kind of saved their asses. So, I mean, don't know how much it's going to cost in total, but if you know you owe somebody to your life, you just gotta kind of have to pay it, don't you?
Yep. Yep. I mean, there is honor among our thieves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have a look, but are you prepared to pay upwards of 5?
Like 5 or like 505.
5,000. I mean, I don't know. This is going to be, I mean, first I got to get a list. I got to figure out what, yeah. I mean, like I said, what's your price here?
5,000 is very fucking steep.
Well, I mean, if you can, how many people are cursed?
I think 5 or 6. I think. Well,
Yeah.
actually, I have a thing that means I have perfect memory for the last 30 days, so Chloe would know the
Yeah.
exact number. Even though I don't.
Oh yeah, we forgot about the loremonger thing for Javi, but we'll come back to that. Yeah, so I think one of them died. There were originally 4 paintings, including Silvari, but Fake Joe
I thought it was
Axel had
5.
one.
Oh, okay. That does that adds up to
Uh,
5. Yeah.
So 5.
Well, I mean, I'm sure people would be, even if they couldn't pay you up front, they'd probably be willing to come up with the money to remove a curse, right? You just might have to front the
Yeah, I mean,
funds.
we have enough cash to front the 5,000 on its own.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, let me look at my people. Let me talk to some people who know some people who know some things. And I'll also put out some other feelers too. I mean, who knows? You might have somebody along the line who has a pet unicorn.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind putting a little leech on him. How much do you need?
I mean,
Are we talking like a vial? Are we talking a gallon or a jug?
good
Or...
question. They didn't really mention that. I assume if it's celestial, I'm gonna assume like a couple drops of pain, you're probably gonna do it. So.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, it's probably more about the interaction of the blood than the amount of it. So yeah, we're talking maybe a vial. That'll make it easier. But no, okay, yeah, I'll see what I can do. You come back and talk to me in a couple days, and I can front you. Well, if you're willing to go up to 5, I can front you the 5. You can pay me, and then you can
Yeah,
get
I
paid
mean,
on the other
I
end.
can. We've got. Well, we still got that 5,000 from the Luskin job you're paying us for. So you're
Oh,
practically
you're right.
paying yourself.
That's one way to look at it. Well, yeah, right. So you're good for the money, and the fewer people you know, and plausible deniability, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, I can take care of that on my end. You come back and see me in a couple days. Anything
Will
else?
do.
Anything else of interest to note? So, what's going to happen with this location? This
I mean, the place kind of got a bit trashed, but actually, generally, probably still fairly good. But one of the people we're saving is the old owner. So,
anyway, anyway you could maybe work a deal where our people could move through things through that doorway.
I mean,
It sounds like a real convenient way to get right the way across Faerun.
I mean, fair enough. I mean, the owner will kind of owe us at least a bit of a favor after, getting that curse undone.
I'll tell you what.
Might
I'll tell
be.
you what. You managed to find a way to make it all right for us to carry our items unmolested. I'll knock half the price off that celestial blood.
Good, good. Considering the place is a bit knocked up, we might be able to get some of our members in as quote unquote construction people.
Oh well, I love organizing union labor. That's
Yep.
that's good for the local economy. Employs people in the dock wards.
Yep. So I'll see what I can get concerning
Well,
that.
you don't disappoint. So I look forward to what you come back with.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, just by the way, there's a job going to be going down in the next couple days. If you can't reach me, I'll leave things with Yagra. I'll tell her.
Okay.
So if I end up having to be scarce, you can still reach out to her and get the deal done.
Yeah, okay. If there's anything I can help with, just give me a call.
This is an outside contract job.
Okay. Gotcha. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank
All
you.
right, you have...
Thank you very much.
He's going a bit away from John Wayne into Elvis there.
Yeah,
All right, good to see you, Clue.
Yeah. See you around.
All right. Yeah.
Tell
How
you
long
we-
would? Yeah. Spend some time at the tavern. So yeah, anyone who's drinking, I need a con save. Let's roll a little bit for this session. See how you do. 14. Yeah, you're all holding your booze pretty well. Like maybe that detoxo has helped. Anyone else drinking?
I guess me, I need to figure out where everything is.
Oh, sure. Maybe on the left-hand side, upper left-hand side, it'll just say Constitution in smaller letters. It's not the big one, and it'll probably say like a number in front of it. Yeah, that's the one. Oh, you could drink it. You're like Captain America. I could do this all day.
Constitution or Constitution save.
Yeah, but
Oh,
I
okay.
don't think he has proficiency in that, so it would be the same roll.
It's still a good roll. Yeah, I'll just let it go. But yes, we'll. It's one more over to your right. It should say like the big ones with the numbers, but then there's a smaller box. It says I think saving throws at the bottom.
Underneath proficiency bonus. next to current hit.
Yeah, it's fine. You rolled really high. Your bonus won't change that a high roll, so you're good. Yeah, Perry, you're kind of getting a little bit on the tipsy side. You're getting a bit merry, but not so much that you're gonna be like totally throwing up or anything tomorrow. You're just a little bit drunker than you thought you were. Yeah, that's the one. Perfect. Javi. Yeah, and Parker is also, in the bar too, but he's drinking water or soda or juice or something, or a mulled
designated
cider.
driver.
He is the designated driver. Yes, he'll have a beverage, a little alcoholic beverage to start if he thinks you're going to be there for more than an hour. But after that, he switches to water because he needs to stay warm too. Yeah. So you stay the yawning portal. There's a couple fights that break out. Someone like casts some magic down, yelling at the vampires drunkenly, like, "Come up here and fight me, you bloodsuckers!" And it cheers to the crowd. It's kind of a rowdy place, but it's a fun place. There's musicians, playing songs, and the people will occasionally dance, and just generally a pretty happy vibe. And when you're ready, Parker will go and get the carriage, pull up in front, and you can all bundle back in. It's not as warm as it was when he heated it up. It's been sat out on the street all night. But at this point, you're all, a little bit of booze in you, gives a flush on your cheek anyway. And before you know it, you are back at the Yield Haunt. When you get
We
in,
all had a shot of brandy before we left the
Yes.
yawning portal to keep us
Yeah.
warm on the trip back.
Yeah, Parker had that for you. That wasn't even from Durndon. That was from Parker. He keeps it under the blankets on the seats. Yeah, and the tavern, your tavern business is sort of winding up at the end of the night. The Bobs are gone. Jarvis is always there. But the other staff people who all have names, but we don't really interact. You just kind of think of them as like the day shift and the night shift are there, kind of winding it down. And Clanghanger and Sippy are both gone. It's really getting kind of quiet and cozy. The fire has died down a little bit, but when you walk in, Belvar, you of course immediately feel better from the weight of your curse lifting a little. And
Mhm.
Liv is always behind the bar managing things. So Jarvis and Liv seem permanent fixtures in this place. When does Jarvis even sleep? Yeah, he's
Never.
Elvin. Yeah, he's like Hibara. Doesn't really have to. So yeah, Gorko and Jarvis tells you that Gorko and Glitter are up in Friend's room. Friend was like out running errands, trying out his like new disguise. Oh yeah, you should tell Barakas about Friend.
Mhm.
That's another yeah.
Friend is our. I want to call him a symbiote, but that's not what he is.
Nimble right,
A nimble
Nimble
right. I was close.
which is basically an entirely metallic
He's a
animated
robot.
or android kind of
Automaton.
thing.
Yes.
Automaton, yes, yeah.
He is a sentient AI with a metallic body, for layman's
Basically.
terms. And technically, he is on the run because he is illegal.
Mhm.
And he did
and
an
they
explosion.
yes. And basically, Thelvar and Mara both decided that nimble rights deserve to have bodily autonomy, and were very pissed when they found out about Friend, and basically have adopted Friend as theirs. You're gonna find a trend. Mara basically adopts any wayward child.
Well, there's a whole story with Friend having
Very
been
loose
built
definition
by
of
the other nimble right that's being held
Mhm.
with the
Oh, we need to kidnap that
nuns
one.
that we need to liberate.
Nim.
and burn down the temple.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So Friend is basically like fugitive that they are hiding. And they disguise Friend from being a gold nimble right. They've Jarvis and the Bobs have put like a lot of like shoe polish or other things to dull down his gold into looking like more like a copper nimble right. And they also like so he's another adoptee of the party, who is also a possible threat if the city finds out, because they yeah, they're harboring a fugitive.
Uh-huh.
Baraka-
Basically, they'd
Yeah.
been captured by one of the other factions that were vying to recover the stolen dragons. Um, they used them to do a fireball
Assassination.
attack
Yeah.
in the middle of like
A crowded
shopping.
street.
Yeah.
Your backyard, basically.
Uh-huh.
Almost.
And then due to an attack on that person's place over here at Grolhund Villa, there was a big chase that happened with one of the Xanathar people, a few of the Xanathar guild who had attacked their tried to chase down Friend. We took care of them and rescued Friend and have taken them in and rehabilitated them because they weren't really happy about having murdered people, but they
didn't have a real
about
sense
following orders.
Yeah, they didn't have a sense of right and wrong. They were
Mhm.
basically like they had to be taught morality, and so and also they learned a language to speak with because the Nimblewrights can't speak, although they can hear and understand common. But we basically invented water deep sign language, and the people in the party and Friend all learned it, so they use like hand signals to communicate with each other. So that is Friend.
I anticipate that Baracus's attitude. I'm out of character right now.
Mhm.
But Baracus's attitude would be to respect their personhood,
Mhm.
but not approach a lot, the artificial side of it, because Baracus is kind of cautious with artificiality because it's not his thing.
Yeah,
That's basically
it's
Habara's take too.
Habar is very
Like,
confused.
it's there, and Habara's here, and she's fine with that.
yeah, it's like you just don't make a connection with it, right? Not the way you would with a tree or a plant or the river.
Yeah.
You just can't. There's nothing. I mean, it's made of metal, but it's not in that kind of organic, natural state. It's been worked. It's been manipulated. It's been manufactured. Right? It's been made other than what its natural state was.
Of course, but that wouldn't hinder at all Baracus's commitment to protect their refugee status and protect their
Yeah, it's like how
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not a kids person, but if a kid was going to be hurt, I would do anything, but I'm not like, so that's it. Like, hey,
Exactly.
you have a baby, great. I don't want to hold it. It's fine. I'll
Oh,
look
it's
at it
me
for
at
dinner.
Disneyland.
Okay, so yeah, we got you, Baracus. Yeah, so yeah, a lot like Hibara in that way.
Wait, didn't we give Friend an act? No, Friend is Friend's name. We never actually gave Friend a name.
Friend is the
No.
name we gave it.
Friend is
Friend
Friend's
is the
name.
name to Nimblewright gave him.
No, I think you all named him Friend.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Thelvar named him Friend.
Yeah, I remember Thelvar was very passionate about freeing the Nimblewright.
Yeah,
No,
but I
the-
don't remember.
Mara was not like Mara was all about that, but Mara had non-altruistic purposes means for that.
Well,
Mara
Claude
has
mostly
to every
thought
so
of it as
often
mildly
forgets what
inconvenient, possibly.
Mara forgets what morality she has at some point in time.
Yeah, so that's you all get back in. Yeah, so they're up they're doing cards again. I guess I can move you back over to the tavern now. Da-da-da-da-da. All right. And then unless anyone else wants to do things before bed, I'll just say you guys can do your normal like nightly routines. Head off. And then we can do more generic, not time specific unless it has to be role play for the next day and forward. So I know you've been waiting, Corey, and then we also have Kelsey who's waiting too. So
Yes. So, first thing in the morning, like usual, Habara goes, deposits the good berries supply in.
oh, Habara, I've missed you. I miss the berries. Oh, she's just like it's like kissing them. She's like, okay, I will wash them. It's okay, but I love the berries that you bring to me.
Okay, well, that's good. They are good berries.
They are very good berries.
And she goes upstairs, and is Clue's door locked?
I mean, if he is back and inside, probably not.
Okay.
Clue's
So
not allowed
then-
to lock his door yet. Jesus.
I mean, like if he was sober, he would remember. But if he's drunk,
Okay. Then she opened Clue's door. I assume he's just like sprawled on his bed.
yep.
Yep. She walks over and nudges him.
I mean, do you want to roll to see how effective the nudge is?
I can. What should I roll?
Athletics.
Unarmed attack, I guess.
Roll athletic.
Oh,
no,
no.
athletics. Like you're shoving him, right? So it would be like an
Yeah,
athletics.
gently shove it. Or not so gently shove it.
Oh damn!
Just
Yeah.
shoves him off the bed.
Who's awake?
No, it's fucking Mara.
She holds up a piece of paper and says,
That is a
I need
piece
you to
of
help.
paper.
I need you to help. I need your help with this.
Do you not know how to write? Or what is
No,
happening here?
I need you to come with me and get one of these.
Do you just need paper birds? I guess this.
No. Well, look at the advertisement. And and she hands him the paper. And it's an advertisement for dresses.
Oh, you need clothes. Okay. Yes. Wait, how late is it right now?
It's probably like what time? 9 o'clock in the morning. You'd wake him up.
Pretty sure this
No,
place is
like-
closed at this point.
Oh no.
We
Well-
can go tomorrow.
Well, this is in the morning.
Oh,
Yeah, this
is
is the next day.
morning. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's the next morning.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can go shopping. I guess. Is this the only thing you need?
Yes. Hold on, I'll be right back. She goes,
Okay.
and as she goes up the stairs, she casts Pass Without Trace on herself. So is Mara's door locked?
No, Mara doesn't lock her door. Are you freaking kidding me?
Okay, good. Then Hibara's gonna sneak into Mara's room.
16.
Thank God for Pass Without a Trace. What's Mara's passive perception?
Well, I'm asleep, so
I mean, yeah.
passive
but
15. So you just
Okay.
beat
You're
it.
good.
Okay, good. Just gonna
if
go.
you're asleep, that would be disadvantage show at 10. Because you do -5 for disadvantage.
Okay. So she goes up to Mara's closet, opens it very carefully and slowly, and then takes 4 dresses.
So basically, you're stealing Thelvar's stuff.
Indirectly, yeah. Or I guess technically Thelvar's mom stuff.
Yep.
And she just took some at random. She took them at random. So she takes those 4 dresses and slowly shuts the door and sneaks back down to Clue and says, "Okay, are you ready to go?"
I'm very confused, but sure.
Read what they're advertising. And it's a advertisement for making shift weave.
Oh, what is shift weave?
Shift weave is a common magical item that's 5 outfits in one that just you can magically change between.
Oh,
I don't even think it's a bonus action. I think it's just free.
I mean, to be honest, it's not particularly effective in combat.
Oh yeah, well yeah, it's a common magic item.
Mhm.
It's gonna be shit.
It's going to be fancy and not much more. I mean, yeah, I guess we can get. I assume those are Mara's. I mean, they might also be Perry's, but it's not really Perry's style, now is it?
Plus it's kind of too big for Perry.
Yeah, yeah, fair. He needs to go to specialty shops, doesn't he? I had a shop in the kids section, but that's not really the point right now. Let's go and why
Invite.
exactly are we getting Mara magical items? Just
Oh, don't worry. I have something for you too. It's a surprise for the solstice.
oh yeah, shit, that's coming up. I actually need to buy shit for that too. Well, maybe while we're out there, I can find something else for somebody as well.
Oh, I didn't know you celebrated it.
I mean, it's the solstice. I mean, of course, I mean, don't necessarily get gifts, that many gifts for people, but it's a thing we celebrate, yeah.
Oh, okay. And I guess we go
Yeah.
off to the store to buy some shift weave. Slash make some shift weave. Although Christy stepped out.
Yeah, she did.
So I assume it wouldn't. I assume would Clue know how to get there from?
I mean, he's lived in the city his entire life. He would be able to find things most likely.
And I mean, he has. Ibarra gave him the advertisement that says
Yeah.
the name of the place, and I would presume where it is.
It would probably be in like one of the market wards.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah, I am
Okay.
back. Sorry, I didn't even have time to check. I just put on my headphones. I heard the question, and I was like, it'd probably be down in the traits ward.
Okay.
But the northern part of it, closer to the northern part of like where the city of the dead is, not the southern part by the docks.
We were just wondering if probably wouldn't have any problems getting there.
No. If you make, you can just use the carriage if no one else is using it. And James works days, so he'd be there.
All right. Then when we get there, Ibarra goes in with the 4 random dresses and looks at the shop person at the counter.
Yeah, there's an elven man, very svelte, very well dressed, looking, is better dressed than the customers. Politeness. Oh, good morning.
Hi, I saw your advertisement for making a shift weave.
Yes.
And I brought 4 dresses, but here's the thing. I want that dress in the picture.
Oh, all right. Which advertisement? Let's see the dates because we do change up the dresses. Can you describe the dress in the picture?
It's long and frilly.
Bara, did you take the
and
advertising with you? Just
yes.
I
show her-
asked her. No, I'm asking. I don't know what's in her and what's in her head, so I don't know what's in her bar's
Oh
head.
yeah. Don't look at the link I shared, Kelsey. It'll be a surprise.
Too late.
Damn it.
You needed to have said that before you posted it, but I'm so happy.
Okay, good.
All
That's
right, it says long and flowing. Is it like fitted?
long. Well, yeah. Have you
Okay.
clicked the link, Christy?
No. Is it
Oh,
okay to click the
yeah,
link now?
Yeah, it's
All
okay.
right.
I was just telling Kelsey not to, so that it would be a
Okay.
surprise for her.
Oh gosh. All right. Yes, he goes.
Perfect.
He says,
I'm
"Oh
so
yes,
happy.
that's in our evening gown section. I think we have one right now in stock. Let me just make sure. There's a couple different colors you can pick from the range, or you can choose your own." And he kind of walks over to a corner of the store, and he comes back with this dress on a hanger, and it's just sort of like flowing, even as he's like, sort of moving it around, and the little bits of it are just moving around with it.
What color is it?
He picked out one that is black.
Perfect.
And he says,
That's
and
fine.
then did you also want to buy the hat separately?
No, the hat's fine. I don't need the hat, but
Okay.
here's the 4 dresses that you smushed into it.
All right. And is it all right if I just take your measurements here to make sure that each outfit fits? Is it for you?
It's not for me.
All
And
right.
Ibarra slowly turns to look at Clue, and she
Oh,
squints at
yes.
him.
Enough for me either, but for a mutual friend.
Ah,
it'd probably be better to measure him.
Would this be for a humanoid?
Yes.
Yeah.
What
I mean, I
species?
think Mara's slightly shorter than me. Well,
All right.
same height at the
But
very
she's
least.
like,
Elven,
Give her a height.
elvish, human.
no, she's human, but
Human,
she's
just
kind of
human,
bulky.
human.
Okay. All right. Let's see. He shows you a few different display models of different sizes, and you can. Why don't you roll me a perception, Hibara? Clue if you also want to roll or help her, you can pick out the one that's the closest mannequin to
I
Mara's
mean,
build.
24 passive
Oops.
perception doesn't just get it to me.
um well it's do you want to okay so between the two of you, Clues decides to go with one that's a little closer. Like Hibara's not always paying the most attention to details, but Clue's like, no, that seems like a little too disproportionate, and he kind of points to one that's closer. You think the shopkeep says, yeah, that's fine, we can allow for a little give if you don't want it to be perfectly fitted.
That would
And we'll
probably
also
be good.
also it would be better for bending over or reaching out for things as well,
Or stabbing someone.
or stabbing someone. Looks a little
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I mean, adventurers, it's a thing that
oh,
happens, you know.
okay, oh, right.
I mean, Clue's actually there just with a rapier on the side. Like, I mean, I don't just carry this around because I am asocial or something.
That's true.
It's fact of habit after,
Right.
having to fight a bunch of shit.
Sure. It's just these aren't usually the outfits that we provide for adventurers. These are more sort of a lady who wants to be able to go to the theater and to the club and not have to worry about going home to switch out.
I mean, yeah, but sometimes, you go to the club and then somebody tries to stab you, so.
Certainly, depending on what the club, that could happen. Yes.
And the kind of person you are, it's a combination of factors, really.
All right. Let's see. So, common magic items run 50. That sound
Mm,
about right?
Yep.
I think that's the price for potions, so yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna say, well, I'm gonna because he's gonna give you a little bit more give as well. So the total cost for that to allow for maximum flexibility in all 5 outfits would come to 55 gold, or 55 dragons for the
Okay.
custom work.
Oh, Clue just kind of looks about. I mean, I'll pay it out of pocket and we just say that it's a gift from both of us.
Oh,
I mean, I found the advertisement.
Yeah, and I'm paying for it.
Okay, fine.
Clue just dumps 55 gold on the counter.
excellent. So how soon do you need this?
By the solstice. So,
By
like a week from now.
Yes, that's fine. You can come collect it.
By Simril. Indeed.
Yes, we can have that ready for you actually like about 2 days before, since you came in with the request so early. We get a lot of last minute requests, so we want to make sure our last 48 hours are free.
By the way, actually, it reminds me, Bar, do you have a lucky star yet, or not yet?
Hmm?
Clue's asking Bara if she has a lucky star yet.
A lucky star?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
guess.
doesn't everyone? Because that's when you were born, right?
I mean, yeah, but not everybody knows theirs,
Oh, I guess. I don't know mine.
I mean, we'll need to make sure to pick you up a couple star maps during the festival then.
Okay.
It's a bit of a tradition here for Simro, which is what we do on the solstice.
Oh, we just watched the eclipse. Can you see it from here?
Ever notice an eclipse? To be honest.
You don't have an eclipse on the solstice?
Oh, it's just the solstice.
Really?
The stars and stuff, and celebrate More and generally just get a bit drunk, but we do that every holiday, so it's not a Simril specific thing.
And there's no eclipse.
Not that I recall, at the very least. Which, to be honest, I'd be celebrated every year if there was an eclipse. You assume I noticed?
Huh. That's weird. Oh well. I guess we should go back before they get suspicious.
Yeah, sure. It's not like neither of us just randomly disappear for entirely different reasons.
Yeah.
I suppose that's true.
The storekeep writes you out a receipt with a number on it that matches a number of the order. So when you collect it, he knows which dress. And he also asked, do you have a preferred default one that you want to pick it up in?
Oh yeah, the store one.
The store one. Okay. All right. Yep. He'll make a note of that as well. Also, I can't get into Baracus's sheet anymore. I don't know why that is. I can open up everyone else's, but not Baracus. Is anyone else?
What probably happened is that you opened it on a different
yeah.
browser tab and then
You have it already
trying
open?
to open it again and the sheet level and then it freaks out.
No, when I hover over Chrome, only the main window shows up. So I'm
That's
the only
weird.
one having that problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can open
Because
it.
I was thinking too, when Hibara is done, I think Paracas needs to go on a bit of a shopping trip. Because I
Yeah.
don't know that you have proper weapons, like
mean-
ranged weapons and things
Now that
stocked
he
up.
remembers the time of year, Clue is also going to need to go on the shopping trip because he needs actual gifts for people.
Okay.
Ah,
Well, hold off on that. All right. So you want to just head back to
Oh, yeah.
the. Okay. As you can, both of you, I know you have passive perceptions anyway. Actually, yeah. What's your passive perception, Clue?
24.
24.
Ours is 17.
Jesus
Alright.
Christ.
Yeah, we're both very perceptive things.
Yeah,
Mhm.
expertise plus alert means passive perception is kind of fucking dumb.
Yep.
Not
Okay.
alert, observant.
Okay. So, see how they do. All right. Hibara, you actually miss this, or maybe like you see it and you don't have the same sense about it. But Clue,
To be
you kind
fair,
of-
even if she did see it.
yes, which she recognized it. But Clue, there's some people. They're not that close to Troskull Alley, but kind of like when you're turning, getting ready to turn in about this. There, you like feel like there are people who are hanging around there that you just don't really like their vibe. Just a little note.
Like, does the vibe I get, is it more like government agent or more like
Yeah, give me an insight. See if you can kind of judge what you can
some
glean.
vibes?
Yeah. Mm.
Olde 2?
Basically, like from it, they just seem unlike people who are going about their business. And they're not just hanging out, they kind of like are hanging in a way that they don't want to be noticed. And they're not doing a good job of, they're kind of drawing attention to the fact that they're, like they're kind of keeping their hats covering their heads and like turning their bodies away. Just looks shady. You don't know if
just
they're
the
gonna.
act natural kind of acting natural.
Yeah.
Don't
Kinda
be
shady.
suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Yes.
Smile and wave, boys. Just smile.
Smile
and
and wave. Yeah. Clue's gonna make a note about that and then just act like he didn't notice.
Okay. Yep. And other than that, you get back to the tavern, no problems. And Parker drops you off, pulls the carriage behind, and unless you want to be dropped off, at the residential entrance.
Yeah, let's just. By the way, where? Yeah, that's just residential.
Okay, he'll take you around to the back, yeah, from that passage between the north and the south entrance. And park there.
Mm-hmm.
So what else did Hibara have?
Oh, that's it until Mara talks to her dad.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So also I'm going to retcon it a little bit that you have more time than like 2 weeks, so I don't want whatever you guys decide to do for next time, whether it's Undermountain or the Xanathar lair or Thelvar's thing or something completely different that you pick. It won't affect the narrative in any of the other ones. Just yeah, because I know there was a lot kind of that came on all at once. So
Mhm.
yes, so I'm just going to kind of expand time here, and we're going to go through a sort of like 10-day period where Davil would have had the group go attack Manchun, and the toing and froing, and we can then fast forward to when Mara's dad comes back with Lady Gondafrey.
Oh wait, there was
And
something with Mara
There,
and
there.
Bara before that.
oh,
Yeah,
is that the thing with the smoked
gunpowder.
powder?
the gunpowder.
Yes. Yes. All right. Yes. So we have Bara and the gunpowder. So
Okay.
originally you were going to get you were doing a deal with Felric, your drow buddy, who's from
Yes.
Bregandar.
If I remember correctly, Late's Loxodon guy wanted
Yes.
to get gunpowder.
Yes. For the Manchun job.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And if I remember, didn't he talk to Mara and then she was like, I know someone, and then
No,
asked
he talked
Hibara?
to Vassar, who was
That's it.
like, "Oh, I can talk to my daughter," and Mara's like, "I know somebody."
That's it. Okay, then when that happens, I don't know what Hibara's doing, just probably laying looking at the sky. When Mara comes up to her and asks her to do that, she's like, okay, I'll call them up. And in the sky over the water appears in the same 50-foot font. Need
As-
to talk to the Pirate King. Come see us. Oh wait, Mr. Pirate King. That's what she said last time.
Oh my god, I love it.
We have like paper birds which are like way subtler than this.
Yeah, but it's Habara, so
Yeah,
And
so
now and then after doing that, and now we wait.
and Felric would have appeared.
Yep. And then we would have done need
Your deal.
make the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, only Felric?
Oh well, he came out
as
because I don't think you.
proxy.
Yeah, because you talked to Felric about it. Felric got the stuff for you. Yeah, but you didn't
Okay.
talk to Jar. I don't think you talked to Jarlaxle directly about this. I think this was a Felric favor. That's my memory.
I don't remember if we established.
No, it was a
who we talked
Jarlaxle
to.
favor. It was a
but yeah.
Jarlaxle favor through Felric as proxy.
Okay.
So he
So
would have
then-
sent Felric because Felric
Yeah.
basically has the best relationship with your party than any of his other minions.
Other than himself, you mean?
Yeah, other than
yeah,
himself.
and yeah, he's not gonna like go run into town for an errand like that. If it's that important, you'll come to him, is what he figures.
Yeah, well, that would be like when Felric would look around and go, "Oh, Relaxel didn't come."
Yeah, he's
And then he
in the
would have
middle.
said that.
Yeah.
Goes,
At this point,
"Oh,
you've been
I
negotiating
didn't
with.
know."
Yeah, he's got negotiations about Lords Alliance stuff. He's doing all kinds of
No,
stuff.
I guess
these
he is
days.
busy.
Yeah, he's trying to get the vote organized and network about war. Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, so this is what we need. And gunpowder. And then she leans close to Felric and says, also, I need something else. Whisper, 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 whisper.
He kind of looks stunned because you're so close to him, and he kind of comes back and says, "I'm sorry. What did you say?"
I need to set up some personal lessons with you.
He kind of goes, "Okay, about what?" He sort of like glances over at you softly.
About shooting. Learn how to shoot.
And he looks a little bit disappointed.
Gun.
Okay, yeah.
You.
Yeah, that's fine. They're a little tricky to work and they can jam, so it makes sense that you'd want lessons. But you're not going to use a gun, are you?
No. Why would I use a gun? I can
Yeah, that's
murder
what I was
people
thinking.
from space.
Or get their attention with messages.
Yeah.
So, who are the lessons for?
This would all be happening in Habara's room.
Yeah, on her balcony. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so you remember?
He'd be
Well, I
levitating
guess
outside of
you.
your balcony like he
I
does.
guess you wouldn't remember because you weren't there. Anyway, remember Grumpy Pants? And I don't know, did he ever tell you that he like killed one of us one time? Well, almost killed one.
Saloon?
Yeah. Did he ever tell
Um,
you that he almost killed one of us? Stabbed
I
him right
mean,
off a roof.
oh, the before we really knew each other, him and Clue.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
He was bragging about that. He thought it was pretty funny. So the guy was totally unprepared and really weak.
Well,
Well,
I don't
who
know
was
about
to
that,
speak to at the point?
but it'd be for Clue.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. I can teach Clue how to fire a gun.
Perfect.
Yeah, so you want to tell him now?
Oh no, it's for the solstice.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah, that should be fine. Hopefully the stuff with Jarlax will be wrapping up here in a couple of weeks and I'll be, more free during the days. So, yeah, do you want to just send me a paper bird or something?
Okay. I'll probably do that. Or maybe use the dead drop.
All right. The dead drop? Is that your skywriting?
No, remember he told her about a dead drop?
Oh, no, but thank you for reminding me.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Wow, you're better than me. Well, I can't remember everything, so thank you for remembering. Part of our world lives in your head.
To be fair, I did write it on my character sheet.
Oh, nice.
The reason why I remember.
He said, yep, I will check that every day. Not a problem. Well, is that everything I can do for you, Hibara?
Well, just get us the gunpowder and check the dead drop on the solstice.
All right. And he kind of pushes off from the balcony where he's been levitating and lets himself sort of drift down and land gently like Fred Astaire on the pavement or on the cobblestone.
And she waves.
Cool. All right, scene.
Yes.
Perry
Now,
and
Mar.
okay. Can we break it up a little bit? Because I would, if
Oh, yeah.
Perry and Baracus could maybe do a bit of shopping.
Oh yeah.
Is that okay? And then we'll have the big finale. Oh, we've got 10 minutes. Okay. I'll
Yeah,
tell you
so
what.
it's gonna the
Yeah,
finale can
okay.
happen next week.
Okay, we can start with that. Okay.
Yes.
Because we also have Lady Gondafrey, and you and Lady Gondafrey both have to do roles because it's the start of like a new month.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
I think Baracus, can you read off what weapons you have?
Yes, sure. Second,
Yeah, no problem.
opening the character sheet. It's a scimitar for sure. There's some stabbing stuff. Let me see.
Those are good things to have.
Weapon. Club, dagger, dart, javelin, mace, quarterstaff, scimitar, sickle,
He's got
Those are
sling,
your
stuff.
proficiencies.
and
You have
spear.
those are no, not your. Yeah, those are all the things you're proficient in. But what about
Oh,
like your
profi-
actual?
yeah,
Yeah, the weapons that you actually can wield. Yeah, sorry.
No, just this. Yeah, absolutely. It's just the scimitar then.
Okay, and what armor? Or what you have? Leather armor?
Studded
Or-
leather armor
Okay.
+1 says
Okay.
here.
Okay, all right. But no shield or anything. No crossbow. No longbow.
Nope.
Yeah, I think y'all need to take him on a shopping trip.
I can't use a longbow, but yeah.
Okay.
How does money work here?
Well-
You have money and you spend it on goods and services.
In this
No.
case, because you're basically becoming a member of the company and you helped out with the last mission, I think head office would think that I don't know how much. What money did you get from the last mission? Is there much?
Oh,
in there?
we're also we have to do a collection from Glitter.
Oh yeah, because there's 200
We-
GP coming from glitter
I'm
when you
trying to
break the
think if
curse.
we actually get. Don't think we actually got paid for the for
No, I guess it
the
was
I thought
more
we
of
got
a.
like 5,000
Breath of
gold or
Beauty
something.
thing yet.
Didn't you find some money hanging about? I have to go get the candlestick thing. But
We found.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
there
should be
was-
something in the.
yeah, but
in-
there's also like the kitty fund, right? The
Ah.
company.
Yeah,
Like
I
a
mean, we have
communal?
the thing is, we do have the company funds for which we currently have like 7,000 cash.
Yeah,
But
and if you
don't-
want to, you can get like half of that back from head office for equipment. So basically, you can consider it like a 50% off if you're willing to spend out of the kitty, which you guys hardly ever spend your money. So
I mean, to be honest, we've mostly been spending it. Although, admittedly, we currently have a lot of gold, mostly because we got 5,000 gold for the boat job. Then
oh,
again,
and
we're also
also,
going to be spending that again for the Celestial Blood. So
yeah, no, that's true. Baracus, you should have gotten. Do you have? No, you would get gold at your level, right? So, let me. You guys go ahead and start thinking about maybe better weapons because we didn't. Is scimitar? We figured is it finesse?
I mean, he already, it's finesse weapon, but it's already magical because
Yeah.
it's a ferocious
Oh, okay.
weapon.
Vicious. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, vicious. So I don't think, especially considering he's a druid and he's probably not going to be that dependent on his weapon. Don't think
Yeah.
particularly
Okay.
much.
What about a
Uh,
shield though?
I guess, but I don't, because he is also because he can't use both his sword and his shield and still use his magic.
Oh,
'cause
yeah,
he's
that's
probably
true.
Gonna need his
Okay.
hands free. I don't know. Is he currently? Does he have leather or studded leather? Because that's an easy enough upgrade.
It's +1 studded.
Yeah, so he's has better armor than literally any of us then.
I have to get the
Yeah,
PHB. Hold on, I'll be right back.
I basically swapped it out for the +1 chainmail that they had because, yeah, druid metal armor don't work.
Yeah, +1 studded. Yeah, I think he has better equipment than any of us at this point.
That's hilarious.
All right, I found the one that we use as sort of standard in our Discord games, and if you start off at level 8, you get 3 grand in additional gold. So you would be able. So Javi, you can basically give yourself that you kind of saved up and brought with you. You can basically have 3,000 gold to spend on your equipment and
Sure.
things.
I need to point out as well that in it supposedly former military background, there's no proficiency in any like ranged weapons that matter. Like there's a javelin here and a spear. But I don't. I mean, the sling is kind of.
No,
lame.
I think you're either looking.
You're a druid, like you literally just have cantrips that are better than any ranged weapon. Like literally, you should never use a ranged weapon. You just have cantrips.
Well, what's a good cantrip for that? Again, I can't see his sheet
I mean,
for some
depends on
reason.
exactly what you want to do, but I'm pretty sure you
Like
have...
sacred flame.
Sacred flame.
Oh,
I don't think druids
yeah.
have.
Oh,
I think
okay.
Firebolt.
That's
I think
clerics.
they maybe have, or is that
Nope, they
something-
don't have firebolt.
Infestation. They definitely have,
Yes.
and that's at least fairly decent.
Druid
gold.
5e
Well, there's
spells.
thunderclap and frostbite's okay, I think.
Yeah, frostbite is pretty good.
Well, it's only 1d6.
Yeah, but it's disadvantage on things as well. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking. Damn it.
It is quite common for druids to take shillelagh and then use a quarterstaff.
Yeah.
But I think Swedish magical rapier. That's
Yeah,
like
that's
a bit
true. It won't do
specifically
as much.
for ranged stuff.
So what we're gonna do now, Javi, as the idea is, well, we only have a couple more minutes, but kind of like look at how to optimize so you're tougher and you have the right weapons and things. But I do think it's never a bad idea to just have a short bow or a light crossbow on your person.
Yeah, I think crossbow would be a
Mhm.
good thing for an ex-military
Yeah.
type.
Don't know if druids can druids use crossbows.
Don't
Or short bow.
I think short bows.
Okay, a short bow then, yeah.
Don't let me just
Very, like with the wood and everything. And yeah, you can give yourself a quiver of arrows too.
There is magic stone.
Clubs,
which-
daggers,
Oh, magic
axes, javelin,
stone.
maces.
Yeah.
No, they do not get short bows.
No
But
short
again,
No?
should just have a decent enough cantrip. Like Thorn Whip is already better than the short bow
Okay.
for him.
That is true.
Yeah.
Especially now
Frostbite is
because they're
better. Control Flame isn't the damage. Well, Infestation might be better. Yeah, it's mostly about what the extra, because they're all gonna be d6s, I think. So it's mostly what type of damage you want to do and what the extra effect you want them to have.
So
Yep.
does anyone else have guidance in your party?
Oh, actually, I just realized they
Who
have
does?
Poison Spray, which is a d12.
Okay.
So you could go Poison Spray. That's
Oh,
actually d12s. That's real good. Jesus.
yeah, that is real good.
Yeah, so I'll let you
Well-
swap out basically all of your cantrips now because you're like, you just we're doing the best you could, but to be really effective in the party, you might want to, it's your character at the end of the day, but this is some pretty good advice. Like poison spray is a pretty good cantrip. You can swap that out for something else.
The only downside is it's not super long range.
Yeah, it's only 10 feet. It's actually that's pretty short range.
Yeah.
But it's
That's
still
in fact a decent downside. Yeah, but you can do a lot of things. You can go for frostbites for a bit more interruption, turn whip if you want to control space. It's druids have a good spell list. You just do.
okay. So weapons wise,
Well, there's Great Bonfire for 1d8.
Uh,
Well, 2d8 now.
Yeah, does that do something on the calculator?
I think if you keep
Yeah, but
someone
that
on
is a
top of it,
you do
it
need to
does
watch out because that is a concentration. spell.
concentration, and a
So
lot
if
of things
you
are
want to do
concentration.
that along with other things, that's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I thought this would be a quick, like, okay, let's buff them up a little bit. But another option too that you might want to think about, which I will say that you can find in Waterdeep, is the tattoos. And if you want to raise your toughness, Javi, they do now in a new edition, Tasha's, allow you to spend like a lot of gold, like 1,500 gold, but you get a tattoo that effectively would raise your AC by like 2 points or something. So maybe that's a way to get around the armor thing and help get you a little bit tougher but still be druid.
Okay. I'm like a rabbit with the headlights right now.
Yeah, I know we're throwing a lot at you, and that's
It's just
unfair.
imagine if I ask you if you ask you guys if you want like single coils or
Yeah, no, we would be lost. We'd be lost.
or
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Sorry. I didn't realize that the restrictions on the weapons were quite so. I didn't remember them being quite so
I mean,
tough.
they're
So I
druids. They're a caster. They probably shouldn't
Yeah.
have that many weapon proficiencies.
yeah.
Yeah, if you want a
guess the
power
question-
with a switch with a a humbucker to single coil and I don't know.
Yeah. So Javi, you're not going to be able to charge into battle quite as much. You're going to need to sort of stay on the sidelines and throw some spells and dodge
Fair
things.
enough. It's an old
Okay.
character. It's a character of age and wisdom.
Cool.
Knows better than to swing.
Well,
Nothing
there
too advanced.
you do know one spell I see now that I'm looking that would allow you to like run into stuff and do stuff like that.
Which is
Guardian of Nature.
I looked at that. I don't know that spell very well.
I think it's relatively new. I want to
Okay.
say it's from Tasha's.
All right, that would
think.
make sense.
Guardián de la naturaleza.
Guys, I need to.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
you need
next
to
time,
do that.
yep, next time we will start with
Mhm.
Mara's dad and Mara and Lady Gondifrey. And
Oh, wait.
thank you.
Oh, I guess we'll just do shopping off.
Yeah, well, shopping turned into way more complicated than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
so-
because now Chloe's also need to go and do some shopping. And
yeah, we can.
do that. All can happen because I have to like enter the space that is Vassar.
True. So we can do that, and then we can do some shopping for anybody else and,
No,
and
I
set up some.
do the shopping first.
Oh,
Everyone can
next
do
time.
shopping.
Okay, all right. Next
And
time
then
we'll do.
after
alright.
everybody's done with shopping, then Mara and Dad can reconnect because I really wanted to do a whole Daddy, or Mara, but that's fine. That's neither here nor there.
Okay. Yeah, we had a lot to get through tonight. So
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. So Sib, take us out.
Well, this has been Tales from the Old Haunt after the spa days. And, yep, the chaos just continues. But for now, it is goodbye from me and goodbye from the party. Say goodbye, party.
Goodbye,
Goodbye,
party.
party.
They did the bit.